Welcome in episode 15. Totally not biased. We had a little bit of a streak going there.
Back to the two.
Back down to two.
Back down to two.
Howdy squared. Howdy squared. We're gonna get into our typical NFL topics. Just recapping week 14, getting into our week 16 picks, and we are gonna cover the current games that have happened in the NFL week 15.
Mm-hmm.
They had Saturday night games or Saturday games. There was 3 of them, and we also have Thursday night football game to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brenden, if you want to go through the games, we'll pick it up from there. Make sure we tell the score.
Yes.
We never fucking say the score.
I got you. Up first, we have the Jets at Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets lose 12-20.
Yeah, this game was it was a rough one. If you are like desperate for the Jets to get a win whenever they need to.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they won this game, they would have essentially had a lock for a playoff spot. Maybe the 7th seed at this point in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
But they play the Lions this week. So it's going to be rough for the Jets, I think, moving forward. As for the Bills, their defense was flying all over the field and essentially killed Mike White.
Yeah.
Had internal bleeding, went to the hospital before he came back home, or before he flew back with the team.
Yeah.
Dude.
Apparently he went, and I don't know how true this is, but I saw one article saying that he's went to 10 different doctors to try to get cleared. I don't know how true that is, but
well, he's not going to play this week, obviously, and they don't want to put Flacco out there.
Flacco's not starting. It's going to be
so they got
Zach's back.
That's news. I guess Zach Wilson's going to be playing in week 15.
Do you think this is when Zach realizes that this is the last chance he's going to get? Do you think he's going to ball out?
He has to play well, I think, for them to even have a shot to or for him to give himself a shot moving forward for another team, because I don't think that they want to move on from Mike White at this point. He's kind of proven to the team that he's going to tough it out, especially in situations against one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
Gets smacked fucking twice.
And it was
lawn chair folded twice and still gets up and fights.
It was hard to see because those that last drive that they had the chance to tie it up.
Yeah.
You could just tell he was hurting so bad. And he ended up throwing that pick, and you could just. Or I guess he didn't throw a pick, but
it sucks because you're rooting for the guy. They even got a safety in the fourth quarter, and they still had a shot. So I don't know, man. The Bills are rolling. We are going to talk about them again here soon. They clinched the playoff spot last night.
Yeah.
They're one of the best teams in the NFL, obviously.
Again.
And Josh Allen didn't play too crazy in this game, I don't think. Let's actually go to it. You know what? I'm going to pull up the schedule for this week because it shows the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. Let's go back to week 14. So, yeah. Mike White was the leading passer.
Yeah.
Bam Knight, he had 71 yards rushing, and then Garrett Wilson had 78 yards receiving. So the offense, obviously, that was playing better was New York. They just couldn't get it in the end zone. So
yeah,
I think it was a testament of how good Buffalo's defense has been all fucking year.
Yeah,
and even without, Von Miller, they're still good. They're still a very good team.
And this was also this seems like this was the game to really say this is Mike White's team.
Yeah, I mean, he solidified it for me. If I was moving forward with the decision making in the franchise, I'm sticking with Mike White.
Yeah,
I'm done with the Zach Wilson experiment. Just because he's injured this week, that's the only reason he's not playing.
Yeah,
so
he's got a chance this week to prove everyone wrong.
All right.
Up next, we got the Browns go to Cincinnati and lose 10-23.
Yeah,
the better team just wins here.
Yeah,
it was as simple as that.
I think that Cincinnati's underrated in terms of whenever it comes to coverage about the roster. They're deep as fuck. Offensively, they've got multiple running backs. They've got at least 4 receivers that they are very, very much confident in, despite Jamar getting back into the lineup this week.
Very much the targets is funny, the targets is funny whenever you're saying that because Jamar Chase had 10 receptions on 15 targets. The next most amount of targets was 5 targets.
But this was his first week back, right, from his injury? I'm pretty sure it was.
I think it might have been his first or second week.
Yeah, but I think they want to get him back into the swing of things, and what better way to do that than just throwing him the ball? the shitty thing about this game, T. Higgins went out.
Mm-hmm.
He went out early with his, what do you have? He had a fucking hip, too. He had a hip injury. I think. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But it seems to me that Joe Mixon's just going to get the yards and Samaje Perine just going to get all the touchdowns.
Yeah.
Damn. I think that they're deep.
He's
they're a
really
very deep football team.
He's really shown out. He has stepped up so much.
Yeah, I mean, he could be a starter somewhere, I think. Or, like, he's going to be, I don't know.
Every team needs
He's
committee
reliable
backs.
if Joe can't go. If Joe Mixon can't go.
It's looking like every team in the NFL is wanting committee backs now.
Yeah.
And they found theirs.
Yeah. My takeaway from the Browns side is that Deshaun Watson just isn't going to be good this year. I don't think he got enough time within the system to really know what to do. And
he's not been
this is his best game so far.
As we've assumed, he's been picking it up. He's been playing a little better each week.
Actually, this isn't the best game because we're going to talk about the Saturday game. But essentially, Cleveland, they have no shot to make the playoffs at this point, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just it's rough. Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's stepping up, becoming like a high level number 2. I'd say he's even like on the fringe of being a 32 of 32 number 1 receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's very athletic, makes a lot of big plays, and I don't know if you give him the targets, he's obviously going to produce. He had 114 yards on 8 receptions.
Yeah,
just couldn't get in the end zone, and they didn't run the ball well. So the Bengals, their defense, I don't think it's enough credit a lot of the time, and they're playing so fucking well.
Yeah,
I think the Bengals are one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL. I think they're at least a top 5 team.
They are still my Super Bowl pick.
Yeah.
Like mostly because
I don't think it's a terrible thing to just stick with them at this point. I think that you should be confident with the fact that they're playing this well this late against good teams.
I picked them before the season started, and I am sticking with it. They are the team that I'm taking.
They've lost one game since the first 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah,
they started out 1-3. And they've lost one more game since then, so that just shows that they've been consistent. Yeah. They've beat Miami. They've beat like high-level teams. They beat Kansas City.
Yeah.
They still have Buffalo to play. So like whenever they play Buffalo, if they win that game, that just proves to me like they can beat anybody.
Yeah.
Even the NFC representative for the Super Bowl, like I think they could win any game.
Yeah.
But
up next, we probably have the most surprising game. No one's seen this game going the way it did.
Oh man,
we have.
This was rough.
Houston losing 23-27 to Dallas at Dallas.
Dallas did not deserve this win. Dak Prescott played maybe his worst game of the season, despite how many yards he had. He did rally at the end, which is cool. 98-yard drive after a huge stop on the goal line. If Houston wins this game, then Philly locks up the NFC East, I think.
Yeah.
And they still, Dallas is going to play Jacksonville this week.
Yeah.
They just need to close it out. Just get Dallas out of here. They don't need to be in the discussion for the NFC East anymore. But to me, Houston doesn't really have a lot to work with. Damian Pierce, he runs hard, and whenever that's their main mode of attack, then you have to – that's where like some of these guys like Chris Moore and some of these other receivers on Houston, they're making a name for themselves because they're making highlight plays. That's all they really can get from the pass game. They don't have a whole lot of, methodical – grind your way down the field with short passes and, dumping down low to the running back sort of thing.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like they don't really have a confident quarterback room.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, what happened to Davis Mills? Because he played better last year.
He really did. I mean, he had more. I think he had more support too. I think.
Really?
Just from a coaching standpoint, because I think that what's his name? Fuck. Why am I forgetting his name?
I can't think of it.
David something.
Yeah. But, like, Davis Mills looked like this was his, like, you got to prove it to every 1 year. And I kind of figured he would ball out because of that.
He did. He only had 5 incompletions. He threw a pick. Yeah. But Jeff Driscoll came in and got a touchdown. They just didn't make the most of their opportunities whenever they got the turnovers they got.
Mm-hmm.
They led big for a minute because they were up, 23-17 at one point in the third. And then Dallas goes on to score 10 straight in the fourth. So, you can't let – their defense played strong pretty much all the way up until the fourth quarter. They let it get, You can't let a 98 fucking yard drive. That's what bad teams do. That's why they end up losing.
And Zeke is now looking more like Zeke. He's keeping it a little more competitive with Tony.
Yeah.
Versus, I think before this week, if you looked at their stat lines, you would say Tony's their number one.
Well, as long as they're getting their split carries like they have been, I mean, it's been the narrative. As long as they can run the ball well and not focus on getting Dak up into that 40, 50, 60 passing range, like the less you put the ball up in the air to, negatively affect your football team.
Of course.
Because they don't fucking fumble. That's one thing about this running back, like the core of running backs, like they have two guys that just don't turn the ball over. Yeah. And that's been the thing all year that has set them apart in the NFC East. Mm-hmm. Or not even the NFC, just in the NFC in general, because like they just played so fucking well. I think that they need to pay Tony Pollard at this point with how well he's played.
Yeah,
he's just so
I think
good.
they will.
But we can move on.
Moving on, this will be a game that I definitely need your opinion on because you are their new biggest fan.
I am a big fan of this team.
So the Vikings went to Detroit and lose 23-34.
Yeah, and Detroit was favored in this game by 2.5 or something like that at home. So like, yeah. Justin Jefferson had maybe his biggest game of the season and still couldn't put the Vikings over the edge. The thing about the Vikings, and it's very clear at this point, most people that analyze the tape and look at the way these teams are playing, at the top of the standings, the Vikings have the worst defense in the NFL. It's not even close. Their schemes are predictable as fuck. They don't run a lot of blitzes. They don't have the personnel to match their defense they're trying to run. It just doesn't work.
No.
And it hasn't worked. Mike Zimmer being there as a defensive head coach for so long, I feel like the focus is mostly on the offensive end with Kevin O'Connell. They have not done anything to make any adjustments for this defense. They have the worst passing defense in the NFL. And look at these teams in the NFC that have gone up against Minnesota and have demolished them.
Yeah.
Philly, Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't think they played San Francisco at this point, but like when they do, or if they do, or if they run into the Lions again in the playoffs, it's over. They have no shot. Detroit in this game didn't necessarily run the ball they had 134 yards, but look at their fucking passing numbers. Jared Goff had a crazy day.
Yeah.
And that's the thing around Jared Goff. Like, I feel like the Lions, they lucked into a situation where they don't need that pick that they had from the Rams.
Yeah.
So they could probably trade back, get more assets, make this team even better.
Yeah.
Because they don't need a quarterback. I've been saying all year, Jared Goff has played really, really well.
I get it.
This is probably his best season of all, like, his entire career.
But your team is so, like...
He's sixth in QBR.
I know, but you have, like, I don't know. I'm just not a believer in Jared Goff.
I don't think he's... See, that's the thing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say he's Patrick Mahomes or...
Of course.
I think he's on the level like Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott. I think that's where his range is right now. Mm-hmm. And he's not going to yield a crazy contract if he does get through this massive deal he's had with the Rams for so long.
Yeah.
Why not build around that guy? I don't think he's making the team any worse. I think he's just making these really younger players a lot better. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's benefiting from a quarterback that's a veteran that knows how to play football.
Yeah.
This guy knows how to play football. He's 8th in yards, 7th in touchdowns, 22 overall, 22 passing touchdowns on the season. 7 picks. That's middle of the pack in the NFL.
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys that we regard as way better players that have far more picks. Like Mahomes, like Josh Allen, like even Russell Wilson. Like, I'm sure that people still think that Russell has more capability as a quarterback than Jared Goff. But this guy has played consistent all year.
Oh, my haters.
Every single game they've lost has been close. Every fucking one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Detroit's looking like they're going to get it done. Looks like they're going to get into the playoffs after all. You called it.
Yeah. I mean, what else do they have to work with? Like, they've got the Jets this week. They still have to play. Who do they fucking play? I'm going to go look. They don't have a tough schedule considering. Let's see. So they have the Jets, then they play the Panthers, then they play the Bears, then the Packers. They're on the road in 3 of those games. Mm-hmm. They're on the road at the Jets, at the Panthers, and at the Packers.
I mean, there's some winnable games there.
They can win all 4 of those games. Like, I think the toughest team of these so far, with how they've kind of turned it around, is the Packers, because they figured out a scheme offensively that they can work with. Yeah. I think it comes down to that game. Whoever wins that game takes the final spot in the NFC. Because the division was already clinched yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I love the Lions. I've loved how they played all year. I think that they've just been unlucky in some situations, and their defense wasn't playing great early on. Now they're on a roll. They fucking destroy the Jaguars. They beat the Vikings. They lost to the Dolphins by 4, and we think the Dolphins are good. Yeah. They lost to the Cowboys pretty big and the Patriots. That's their worst stretch of the year. They lost to the Seahawks 48-45. Real close games. They lost to the Vikings early on, but yeah, I feel like if they go into the playoffs, they're the 7th seed. They're playing the Vikings round 1. They win. I think they win that easy.
And they're also going into the playoffs hot.
Yeah,
like red hot.
Their offense is unstoppable,
and that's always a good sign as well.
But that's all I have on that. If you want to
Moving on, we have Jacksonville wins 36-22 at Tennessee.
36-22.
Speaking of another red hot team, Trevor Lawrence, he's not fucking around no more.
It's crazy because
he's been playing his ass off.
Derrick Henry had 121 yards. He had like 90 in the first half.
Yeah. Evan
Ingram, I don't know where this talent has come from, but 162 yards. That's pretty fucking crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
It's just out of nowhere.
Trevor Lawrence is really he has really stepped it up.
Yeah.
Like, he's been playing well, and, we always feel bad for him, and we've been saying he's good and all these things, but, it's different now.
The stretch of games that they lost, it's really horrendous. The only win that the Texans have is against the Jaguars. They lost to the Eagles, the Texans, Colts, Giants, Broncos, all in a stretch. They lost 5 games straight. They have won against the Raiders, the Ravens, the Titans, and I really do see them beating the Cowboys this week. Just because they have several ways of attacking a defense. I think Travis Etienne could have a big day running the football. And the thing about this is if Trevor Lawrence can play this well, who's stopping him?
No one.
30 of 42, 368, 3 touchdowns. I don't know who's stopping that.
After this game, this team honestly looked like they probably have the best future going forward.
They have a lot of talent. There's not necessarily a number 1 receiver there, I don't think. But he doesn't need
every
that.
week.
He doesn't fucking need it.
Yeah, it looks like it's switching up every week. Christian
Kirk Zay Jones
has
had
Zay Jones is balling.
A couple of good weeks back to back.
Evan Ingram now is their number 1 this week.
Marvin Jones, he's a veteran there that's been playing well for a while.
Yeah.
Their defense fucking stepped up in the second half though, keeping Derrick Henry to 30 yards in the second half. My buddy at work, I was talking to him about it. The Titans, they've kind of put themselves in a hole going into next season as well. Mm-hmm. We didn't bring them up in the what would you do, but they're in a bad situation. I looked at their cap number and stuff.
Yeah.
It's rough. They just can't pass the ball. They're so predictable. And in this game, they had 254 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, but that's not consistent.
Yeah.
And their offensive line hasn't played well. 4 sacks for 27 yards. That's not going to get it done.
Yeah. And, this is a good matchup. If we're going to point it out, this was a good matchup for them because right now Jacksonville's biggest weakness is they cannot defend the pass.
They can't.
Yeah, they're a team that can pass well, and that's another reason this Dallas matchup is so scary because Dak's going to have such a good game here.
I would hope so. Considering how poor they've played against the pass all year.
Yeah. Because, any team, the teams that pass well, beat them.
Yeah.
It's almost as simple as that.
Yeah. Pretty much. But, yeah, that's all I got on there.
Okay.
Crazy performance from Trevor Lawrence.
He's really
his best game of his career, probably, against a division opponent.
Great. If not, it's got to be real close.
Yeah.
All right, next we have Philly at the New York Giants. Philly wins 48-22.
Heard this all fucking week. Yeah. Giants fans are fucking terrible, man. They can't take a loss. They have to talk shit even after the fact. Your quarterback's Daniel Jones. Your quarterback is Daniel Jones. I don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
This I don't know what it was, dude. It just seemed like it got out of control real quick.
Yeah, y'all were smacking them quick.
Another big second quarter. 17 points in the second quarter. Ended up scoring another 24 in the second half. forced a couple turnovers. Miles Sanders, yeah. Miles Sanders is great. Been saying it for the longest, dude. He just hasn't had that season to prove it. Necessarily what I've seen for so long. I mean, being behind Saquon at Penn State, coming into the NFL, he was really explosive, had good vision, but wasn't necessarily getting the touchdowns or staying healthy even. This is the game that like proves to me he's an elite running back. Yeah. And I want to keep him. I like to keep him, but it just depends on what the number is at this point because he's going to be a free agent this year.
Yeah.
That's that's rough.
Yeah. Super Bowls convince people, though.
True.
If you all can win the Super Bowl.
I'd like to keep him, maybe franchise tag him because the franchise tag number for running back isn't bad. It's like $10 million or something like that. That's not bad.
No.
But we had 4 rushing touchdowns on the day. The giant killer comes in, gets himself a rushing touchdown. He really is. Like, he had multiple returns in this game that were just – he got into their territory on one of them and then another one where we're starting at the, 36-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
He's been fantastic. A.J. Brown got a touchdown in this game as well. Jalen Hurts didn't play nearly like an MVP level game from a passing standpoint, but the plays he made, the decisions he's making, he just does not put the ball in harm's way. And even whenever he's getting sacked, he knows how to tuck the ball or get rid of it.
Yeah.
Just seems like he's been consistent from that standpoint. Still has a higher the highest pass rating in the NFL. Still the MVP of the NFL. Still the best player in the NFL right now. Making this team look like it's on a Super Bowl trajectory at this point. I don't think the Giants they had a good run. They played really well at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
They won 6 straight. Haven't played well since then. They're 1-5-1 since.
Yeah.
So
the thing that makes me happy about a game like this for Philly is when you play a team that you're expected to be that much better than, you need to beat them by this much.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need this, like,
pussyfooting around with, like, the Texans.
Yeah. Like, you don't need the close games. No. The 27-23. Yeah, you can't have that.
I'll give the Texans credit, too, because they played well against us. Like, Damian Pierce had a phenomenal day running the football. Like, there's just instances where, like, you just got to put a team away.
Yeah.
They're going to keep fighting and stuff, but I don't think the Giants have ever been regarded as a top-tier NFC team. They've been considered frauds all year.
Yeah.
This is where you got to prove it. So.
Yes. But next we have Baltimore wins 16-14 at Pittsburgh.
We can lightly breeze past this game here.
I think the biggest takeaways here was Kenny Pickett got hurt.
Yeah.
Mitch came in. And Mitch doesn't look bad if he just doesn't throw 3 interceptions.
Well, the interceptions he threw, they're just egregious plays, like just throwing it up, like being real careless with the decision making. That's where
because 22, if you take away this 22 for 30, 276 yards and a touchdown, you're that's a
decent day, yeah.
But the 3 interceptions and what those 3 interceptions did.
Yeah, they completely changed the outlook of the game, and they went for a 2-point conversion that last time they scored, couldn't convert, and they need they need another possession at that point. So you can't just be giving the ball up. Mitch Trubisky's been prone to doing this kind of thing where he's close in the game and he ends up fucking it up.
Yeah,
and that's probably why they want to move on.
Mitch can't win because he was playing extremely safe. He was doing nothing extravagant with the ball at all.
Yeah.
And then he gets benched, so Kenny Pickett comes in, and Kenny's just throwing that thing.
Yeah.
He's throwing 3 picks a game, doesn't care. He's just getting it out there. He's putting their team in a chance to win. Something happens. Mitch comes back in. He's like, well, I know what I need to do. And then he plays terrible because that's not how he plays.
Well, it's not his play style. And whenever he tries to make it his play style, that's when you see 3 picks, 3 interception, multiple turnover games. It's just not – it's not his game. He needs to just stick to being safe, try to win these games. Like this game, they were very capable of winning, and
absolutely.
Now you're set back in the division even further, and there's no chance for Pittsburgh at this point. They're going to be. I mean, they're eliminated pretty much.
Up next, we have Kansas City wins 34-28 at Denver. So this game was weird.
Patrick motherfucking Mahomes.
Patrick motherfucking Mahomes. Russell played like Russell for a little bit.
Yeah, that was my takeaway.
It started off slow, and it looked like it was just going to be an ass whooping. And
we're all about the science of softness. So we
shut the fuck up.
You better mute that.
What the fuck is that?
But then, out of nowhere, man, it just felt like Russell just started going crazy.
Yeah, he got fucking smacked and got taken out of the game.
Yeah, and then it was over.
It was a
Then the game's
concussion. He's sitting this week because of it still. So like
Yeah.
he was clear, but apparently they're just gonna hold him out. I don't disagree with that decision.
over.
Yeah. Jerry Jeudy had 3 touchdowns. I don't know what it was, dude. Like Denver came to play, and I expected it. We didn't expect them to give up a whole lot of points defensively.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, we said it's gonna be a close game,
Yeah.
maybe, but it's gonna be because Denver's defense is holding it close.
Yeah.
But they came and had their best offensive game of the year,
Mm-hmm.
which against this defense I think is possible. You know, Kansas City's been pretty leaky all year.
Yeah. And while we're giving out like the, while we're kind of talking poorly about quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes didn't play a great game.
No,
28 for 42, 352, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Yeah, 3 interceptions. That's the thing. We're gonna talk about the MVP later.
Yeah.
That's kind of like
Like,
where my rub is like he'll have big fucking massive yardage games, multiple touchdowns, but then it's like
yeah, because like
he's hot dogging, like doing some stupid shit, getting picks.
Patrick Mahomes,
He's lucky that none of those picks ended up losing the game. Russell Wilson threw a pick 6 in this game that was fucking awful.
Yeah, but right now Patrick Mahomes is number 1 in yards with 4,160. He is number 1 in touchdowns with 33. He is number 1 in QBR with 77.
All right, getting back into it, we were talking about the Kansas City at Denver game.
Yeah, so like I was saying, Patrick Mahomes is number 1 in yards, 4,160. Number 1 in touchdowns, 33.
Yep.
He is number 1 in QBR, 77.9. He is 29th in interceptions.
So he's
Tied
the
for 29th.
third worst.
He is 11. But like, do you care?
You do care if it ends up losing games, and especially when.
But if you're throwing the most yards and the most touchdowns, do you care if you're also the most picks?
I think that it makes up for it because he's played so well.
Yeah.
But I just know that, like, he had, let's see, I want to look at these games. He had 5 touchdowns against Arizona, no picks.
Yeah.
2 against the Chargers first time around, no picks.
Mm-hmm.
Then he has an interception against Indy, 1 touchdown. Worst game of the year, for sure.
Yeah.
They lose that game against the Colts. They beat Tampa 41-31. He had 3 touchdowns and a pick.
Yeah.
Could have swayed the outcome a little bit more because it was within 10. He had 4 touchdowns, no picks against Las Vegas. They lose to the Bills because of his pick.
Yeah.
Like, he threw the game-ending interception.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, there are games where, like, you could pick through all these and be like, yeah, because he didn't either play well for one or he just threw interceptions or was very careless with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He made it way closer than it needed to be. He had a 90 QBR against Cincinnati, had 1 touchdown, no picks. So, I don't know. I'm not too concerned with how the interceptions end up going for the Chiefs in most instances because it doesn't seem like it's affecting their wins, except for 1 on the season. But yeah, hopefully Mahomes can protect the ball better going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
he knows that, and like, if there's going to be a quarterback to know exactly what you need to do,
yeah.
He's the quarterback I trust.
I mean,
to get it done.
he led the league in interceptions for the longest last season. And then
like,
Stafford took over. He had like 17 or something.
Yeah. We're talking about 33-11. We're not talking 30-30.
No.
Like.
No. I mean, you're expecting this guy to have similar interception numbers to like Rodgers, who never throws double-digit interceptions. That's pretty tough. That's I mean, whenever you're a big play quarterback like he is, you're going to expect to have some plays not go your way.
Yeah.
And he's throwing, 35
Josh
plus
Allen's
times a game.
the bigger example of this.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is the guy who's going to throw
and he has fumbles a lot more often.
Cannon down there. Yeah. But, yeah. But we're going to move on because we got to talk about the GOAT, and I ain't talking Tom Brady.
Oh, man.
Tom Brady and Tampa Bay go to San Francisco, and they lose 7-35. Big Dick Brock.
Big Dick Brock.
He's
co-opting the fucking Big Dick Nick. This is bullshit.
He is that guy.
He is good.
He's better than Jimmy G.
He may be, but
he's like, I don't think it's like even an argument. He's played better than Jimmy G. And Jimmy G was actually playing.
I think there's lower expectations for Brock though, so like he could just go out there and ball, just like do what the system asks of him, and don't throw picks. He hasn't thrown a pick yet, even in 3 games. He's played a 3rd game so far. His 3rd game was probably his best.
Yeah,
he
has thrown picks. He has 2.
He has 2 picks.
He has 2 picks on the year. 678 yards.
Was
6
it in
touchdowns,
that first
2
game
picks.
he played? I guess
the first game he played, I know he threw 1. Because I think one of his first passes, if not his very first pass, was a pick.
Oh well.
But then, from there, the man has been balling.
I didn't know he had interceptions. That makes it worse.
Nah,
I don't know. He is getting a lot of buzz right now because San Francisco's playing so well. But it seems to me that like, I don't know. I can't trust it from what I see. They did beat the fuck out of Tampa. Tampa's done. I don't want to talk about them very much. They're just not. They're going to win this division, most likely.
Yeah.
Unless they drop to the Panthers again, which is very likely.
Yeah.
It just seems to me that the South is going to have a one-and-done team at this point. And it's going to be Dallas that's going to end up fucking them up.
Yeah. So as he actually plays in games, he's only had 1 because he came in the Kansas City game through 9 passes.
So they sat their starters because they were down so much. They were like, okay, put Brock in there,
and he threw a pick.
Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
And then so then his first game that he came in was that Miami game, and he had 2 touchdowns and a pick. Holy shit! Every game that he's played, like 20 plus attempts, he has 2 touchdowns.
Oh shit. Okay. Throw 40. Let's see what 40 attempts gets him.
Yeah.
400 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Right.
I don't know. Cool he's played well. I like he's got some swag about him.
Yeah.
Mr. Irrelevant, making himself relevant real fucking quick.
Yeah.
I do want to bring him up in the MVP segment. Not because I think he's the MVP or anything, but there's a lot of talk about this guy. It's just outrageous. I do like him. I think he's played well. He's made the team look good. I think he may be better than Jimmy G at this point.
Now we got two people battling it out for the starting position. We have a second-year player and a rookie that are both playing this fucking well. Like, why do you need Jimmy G?
You don't. And the thing is that Trey Lance, he got 1 start and then he got hurt.
Yeah, I just really don't want Jimmy G to go to Jets. If that happens, I'm gonna be so sad.
Oh no,
I'll be so sad about that.
Maybe we should bring that up I'll bring that up as my last call.
Okay, Jimmy G's next spot.
Yeah, I want to talk about San Francisco a little bit.
As we expected, CMC has just completely taken over this backfield.
Yeah.
And holy shit, has he made this team better?
Yeah. I'm glad he's healthy. I'm glad he's staying healthy. I want him to be healthy.
And I talked to you about this. When are the injuries for San Francisco going to matter?
What are the injuries?
They lost 2 quarterbacks, and then in this game they lost Debo. And you saw no change. They won 35-7. Like, it wasn't like my star receiver just went out. My team's hurting. No, it was like
they've got superstar players even without Debo, obviously. So like Nick
still.
Bosa being a fucking having his best season. Like, he's gonna end up with 20+ sacks, and he's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year at this point. Like, they've got players across the board on defense to keep them in games, and if it gets close, they still just run away with it somehow every fucking time. My thing is that like, it may start to affect them if someone like Christian McCaffrey goes down because he's been a big part of their production for a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe even Brenden Ayuk or what's his name? Fuck. Why am I Ray McLeod? Like, he's been playing well.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of instances where like I would be concerned moving forward if someone like Nick Bosa went down again because he was hurt early in the year.
Yeah.
If he went down again, I'd be pretty concerned.
Yeah.
But no, like. They're so talented. They're so deep of a team, and that was the thing going into the season. Like, San Francisco's got one of the best rosters in the NFL. It's just a matter of what they do with it. And Christian McCaffrey being this good this late, if he keeps it rolling going into the playoffs, they're gonna be tough to beat. Hopefully, they can run the ball well with him. And don't they still have they have Elijah Mitchell still too, right?
I believe so.
So like Elijah Mitchell coming up behind Christian McCaffrey, he's a bruising running back, fast, able to do a lot going out of the backfield. That's Kyle Shanahan's system.
Yeah.
You see it with Mike McDaniels in Miami too. So like,
yeah,
I like San Francisco. They beat the fuck out of Tampa. Tampa's terrible. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. They shouldn't be in the playoffs.
We can talk about that if you want to do just kind of quarterbacks where they're going to go next year.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is another questionable.
Yeah, for sure.
But moving on, next we have Carolina went to Seattle and won 30-24.
Yeah. You want to take the lead on this one? I'm sure it made you sad.
Yeah, well, it did. Because this pretty much settled that, like, Seattle probably is not making the playoffs now. It's looking
There's
real.
not a big window for him to make it.
Yeah, now they got to, like, win out. And this was a game that they needed to win. Geno did throw 2 picks, but at the end of the day, 21-36, 264, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. I still think he did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
It's this defense, man.
The defense is
There's no
really
way
bad.
you let Carolina score 30 points. It just... man, there's no way.
I mean, they had a good rushing day. 223 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Yeah. Chuba Hubbard came up and just did so well. I think he should be their starter at this point. Dodge Foreman's been pretty good, though. What the fuck is it about their passing game, though? Like, 120 yards. You give up passing, and you just cannot stop the run.
Yeah.
Seattle could not stop the run the entire day.
Yeah, they allowed 223 yards.
But look at the other side, where Geno Smith was the entire offense, and then they had 46 rushing yards on the day.
Yeah.
They did not have Kenneth Walker in this game.
Yeah.
He was out. So, like, it's a rough way to lose to a terrible team and make them look even better than they should be.
Yeah.
Carolina should not look this good right now.
For them to be 5-8 and actually kind of have a chance to win their division.
Yeah, I mean, they could run the table
so...
and make the playoffs at this point, and it's fucking horrendous because they're such a bad team. I just don't expect very much of either of these teams since, I mean, Seattle's played they played another game we're going to talk about. They played yesterday, or they played Thursday.
Yeah.
They're sitting at 7-7. I don't know.
It
takes at least 10 wins to make the playoffs if you're not from the South.
if you're
And I don't see it. I just don't see it at this point.
Yeah.
But
moving on, we got Miami losing 17 at the Chargers. They had 23. 17-23 is the final score. This has changed the narrative about Tua.
There's a lot of crazy shit being said.
And what it really comes down to is Tua is one of the best quarterbacks in the league when you put him in the best situation. When you put Tua in a situation that is tough, it looks like he loses games. I don't necessarily agree with this. I think he has shown throughout the year that he makes plays. He does what he needs to.
Right.
I think that maybe they're just sputtering right now, and I don't blame Tua, even though this game was very much not him.
I don't want to put it on Tua either, and there's been the narrative like Herbert versus Tua because Tua was picked before Herbert.
No, Herbert's definitely better.
I know I agree that he's better. It's just like you don't really have to pit these two against each other. They're going to be in the NFL for a long time. I think that at this point, Herbert has a lot more to work with from a skill set. I think that he doesn't really have an offense catered to his skill set necessarily, and he's still overcoming that.
Yeah.
And to me, it just seems like every fucking week you can count on Justin Herbert to play well enough to, put you in a position to win. It's just a matter of your defense if they can play well, and they did in this game. Hold Miami, which is one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL, to 17 points. That's a big win for them.
Yeah. The number one thing I would say about Herbert, you're going to get top 5 in yards from him every year, regardless. Like right now, he's 4th. Regardless
he's
of
4th in yards.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
He has 3,706 yards. Like it just doesn't matter.
It doesn't seem like where the fuck is he getting it from? Because Keenan was out all year. So was fucking.
He threw the ball 51 times and threw almost 400 yards this game.
Wow.
Like he's gonna put up those yards, and like that from him, and I think that's why he gets the argument of like that he's possibly better than Joey. We both obviously definitely take.
I think
Joe Burrow.
Joe has proven it because he's been like the driving force for the Bengals to make it to the playoffs so far.
Yeah,
multiple times because they're gonna make it this year as well. Like Justin's still fighting to get into the playoffs.
Yeah,
he is playing in the same division as like one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah, so
like losing to them both times gives them motivation that if they do make the playoffs, they still have a shot to go up against the Chiefs and win because they got one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, I
just don't like the narrative where this is just Tua's just not good anymore because he loses to a way better player. He also ran up against one. Like, I think whenever they're playing their A game, the Chargers have a pretty competent defense.
I mean, everyone thought the Chargers were that team
Yeah.
going into the season.
I mean, I had them win their division, so.
Yeah. And, like, most people also, said that their year has been bad, but it's mostly because of injury.
Yeah.
So to sit here and just be like, oh, now that they're, like, 90% healthy, that, like, oh, well, they've been bad, so they're bad. Like, no, they're a very good team.
Very talented. They've got superstars across the board. Like, I mean, I don't even know how well Khalil Mack has been playing, but my God.
He's I mean,
like, Khalil Mack is on your fucking team,
He's still good. Like,
it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. And then moving on, we have New England went to Arizona and they won 27-13.
The biggest takeaway is Kyler. Tore his ACL out for the season. Looks pretty bad. The situation for the Cardinals continues to get worse.
Yeah.
Steve, what's his name? Steve Keim, he had to take a leave of absence because of some medical issues. He's been extended. They extended Cliff Kingsbury. He's having to work with Colt McCoy for the rest of the season. Don't think they're going to win another game.
Cool seeing Colt McCoy as someone who likes Texas.
It's just, it sucks because, like, Arizona felt like they kind of had something to look forward to this season to build upon for next season, because I didn't think they were going to be, a deep playoff run or even necessarily making the playoffs. I just think that they're talented enough to where they could have made the playoffs. They just did not play well all year. When your star quarterback goes out, there's really nothing you can do. I don't fault them from an offensive standpoint. They had to work with Colt McCoy. It's just, New England's been one of the best defenses all fucking year, and they still prove that they are one of the best defenses even in this game. Mac Jones didn't play phenomenal, but
that just seems how he's not going to. That's just not what he's going to do.
It's just, there's really not much to say from the New England side of it. It's just like, they lucked into, an injury, which I don't want to frame it that way, I guess. It sucks regardless of who gets injured that way. But, because they didn't have to play against, like, a very mobile quarterback, that tends to be their weakness, they were able to come out with a win. And they're probably going to make the playoffs because of it. So,
yeah.
But, yeah. Moving
on, we have the Thursday night game.
Yep.
So, we have San Francisco travels out to Seattle and wins 21-13.
Yeah. Seattle didn't really have it at all in the first half. They came out in the second half. They were able to get a touchdown late in the third, I think, is when it was. Maybe it was the fourth. Let me go look. Yeah, it was the fourth quarter. Gino had a decent game. He didn't play phenomenally, but
he played all right. I mean, the takeaways are the exact same things as last time.
Yeah.
Other than we have one different player who stepped up that everyone was very excited to see. George Kittle.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns. They were fucking long ones, too.
George Kittle did George Kittle things.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been wanting to see from him. But the takeaways are still, Brock Purdy came in, played his ass off. He's that guy. And
it's games like this that make me think that George Kittle could be the number 1 tight end in the NFL, just based off of how athletic he is, how well he blocks, and just how much value he has as a player.
I was on that bandwagon for a while until Kelsey's just
another animal. Yeah. Where, like, Kittle, if he can do this in the playoffs, I don't really. Yeah. It's a tough sledding for a guy like this. You're gonna, I don't know. He should have consistent games like this where he has multiple touchdowns or even like 100 yards. He's tied for 53rd in the NFL in catches, 44th in yards, 14th in touchdowns, and he averages 12.9 yards a catch. That's not elite status for a tight end, but I think he's elite.
Yeah.
Geno Smith. It was a good run, but you're not making the playoffs at this point, buddy.
Nope.
It sucks. Christian McCaffrey had a fucking big day too. Again.
Yeah.
He's just so good.
It took him no time to get adjusted either. He just walked right into that team and was like,
I think
this is where I'm at.
He's one of the most cerebral players in the NFL too.
Yeah.
Coming from Stanford, you know that a guy like that's going to be smart.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Most Stanford players that we see on like a Hall of Fame trajectory, him, Zach Ertz, like, yeah, they're phenomenal players. They come from a great institution. So
next we have maybe game of the year. The most wild game we've seen.
The Colts are fucking horrible.
The Colts need to get removed from the NFL.
They just don't. They're not a. I think they're worse than Houston right now.
Put the an XFL team in, and kick these guys out because the Colts went to Minnesota and lost 36-39.
They were up 33-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
Everyone was writing them off.
Yeah,
everyone was like, "Yeah, Minnesota.
8,000.
Yeah, good luck in the playoffs."
Yeah, Minnesota got to a plus 8,000 at one point.
Put $1 down there, you win $800.
Yeah.
Or was it $80? You win $80 if you put $1.
Every dollar down, you get $80.
My
back.
fucking God,
It's insane.
Kirk Cousins, balling.
It's I wish I could see the stats of first half and second, because if you looked at Kurt and said, "Oh, he threw 34 for 54, 460 yards, almost 500 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions," you'd be like, "Wow, he had the game of his career."
This is the game of his career, just from the circumstance of it. Like
But-
they're gonna remember this game for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Being down, I mean,
But this
obviously it's the biggest comeback in NFL history. You shut it, you shut down the Colts in the second half. There's nothing they
They
could
put
do.
up 33 points in the first half and 3 in the second.
They had to get to overtime to win this game, and they end up winning in like the final seconds on a field goal. Like, think about how much has to go right for them in that moment where like the team that has played the worst defense in the NFL all year is able to get a stop against this team late in the fucking overtime.
Yeah.
Multiple times at this point. And they're able to score 3 points to win the game. That's fucking incredible. Dalvin Cook, he looked really good. Had 95 yards on 17 carries. KJ Osborne came to play. The 2 picks, by the way, that Kirk Cousins threw, guess who he targeted?
Probably Justin Jefferson.
Jalen Rager.
Oh, that's even better.
2 targets, 0 catches, 0 yards. That was a great trade. We got fucking picks for nothing.
Yeah.
Dude.
That was one of the weirdest trades I've ever seen.
He's just not good. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't get it. He should be good, but he's not.
I mean, Jay Jettas, though.
Yeah, 12 catches, 123 yards, a touchdown. Dude, he's going to go over 2,000 yards.
I think he's 300 yards away, 360 yards away from breaking the record. He's so close.
He's going to break it.
He might do it.
111 receptions, 1,623 yards, 7 touchdowns. Imagine if he could break the touchdowns.
Yeah, he's got to get some tutties up.
Because I think the leader is at 11, maybe more. Because I think it may be Diggs. I think Diggs is leading. But he is as close to a Triple Crown as you can get. Dude, he's played so fucking good this year. This is his career year. And it's crazy because the past 2 years have been so good. He already has over 5, as a third-year player, he already has over 5,000 yards receiving. That makes no sense. Or no, it isn't.
Yeah, I guess this is probably right. It says Devontae Adams and Travis Kelce are one with 12 touchdowns.
With 12 touchdowns, okay.
And then tied for third is A.J. Brown and Stephon Diggs with 10.
He's not at 5,000. He's real close, though. He's at 46.39.
And then Amari Cooper has, or no. Tyler Lockett has 8, and then tons of players are tied at 7.
Yeah. So he has
He's
3 games left to play.
He needs a little over.
He already
400
broke
yards.
his total for last season.
Yeah.
And he's played 3 more games in that season than this year. He has no turnovers. Dude, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. It's crazy to say after a third-year player. He's younger than us. He's 23 years old.
So crazy.
He's only 23, dude. They need to sign him because he'll be in his team year next year.
Mm-hmm.
They need to sign him after this offseason, $35 million a year.
No. Give him a Deshaun Watson deal.
Fully guaranteed.
Fully
I really
guaranteed.
do think that could be on the table with how well he's played.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
He
said he was gonna do it this year, and he's done it. He's the best receiver in the league.
I think by the end of the season, before the playoffs start, we should do our own NFL top 100 players.
Okay.
Maybe all 3 of us.
Yeah.
And this dude, I don't think he gets past 3. I don't think he gets past 3 because there's only 2 other guys that I could think of having either better seasons or I know that are better than him
Yeah.
or more valuable than him.
Maybe. I don't know.
And that may be it. That may be it. Like 2 guys, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best receiver in the NFL. It's not even close at this point.
Yeah.
And the Vikings make a crazy comeback. They're 11-3, clinch the division, clinch playoff berth. They're 11-3. They're going to make the playoffs and lose in the first round. Good stuff.
Crazy to go from that game to the next because next we have a real snooze fest. Baltimore put up 3 points to lose to Cleveland, who put up 13.
They didn't have Lamar.
Still.
But Deshaun Watson still had a bad game.
Yeah, nothing exciting for sure.
And the thing is, Cleveland is not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, but they are.
For whatever reason. So, this game is...
It is kind of crazy, though. Deshaun Watson's 2-1 in his 3 games back. Like, not because of him by any means.
No.
But,
their defense has played well.
yeah.
Let's see. Let's go look at our guy. Myles Garrett had 1.5 sacks in this game. On the year, he has 13.5, which is third. 13.5, which is third. 2 forced fumbles. Yeah, he's their best player. Damn, our birthdays are close as fuck too. He's 26. He was born the 29th. Mine's the 21st. Huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. But yeah.
Not much to say about this one.
Yeah, there's really. I mean, we have to find factoids about how his birthday's 8 days after mine. It's crazy.
Up next, though, we have another good one. 2/3 of the games on Saturday were good. We have Miami losing 29-32 at Buffalo.
Big blizzard game. Only after the fourth quarter starts. This game was fucking awesome, dude. The crew that like cleared up the stadium before the game started did a fantastic job. There was like no snow on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly the stadium, the seats, they had a bunch of snow. So like the fans had to come in and wipe their seats off and shit.
Throwing snowballs
But,
at refs and shit.
Throwing snowballs at the players and shit.
Yeah.
But that didn't really kick off until the fourth quarter. The snow started to come down real hard, real heavy, and I think that's what changed the game in the fourth quarter because they were.
Honestly, this makes me believe in Miami more. For Miami, because Miami is not a team that is supposed to play in weather like this.
No, and they still had a shot.
Yeah.
The thing was about, for me, Buffalo clinches the playoff berth, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think they clinched the division too, so they're division champs as well. It seemed after the wind started to pick up and the snow started to fall, that's where Tua started to take a step back.
Yeah.
My thing is like there were instances where the play calling was really weird for Miami because they were running the ball so well.
Mm-hmm.
Raheem Mostert had a fucking career day. He had 17 carries for 136 yards. If they just like run the ball 3 or 4 more times,
mm-hmm.
they may. I feel like they may have won the game because like they had the ball late,
mm-hmm.
and Buffalo just had to go down and they just had to go down and score.
Yeah.
They had to kick a field goal. They tied it up late. They got a 2-point conversion as well. Josh Allen dives over the offensive line.
304 yards, 4 touchdowns.
He had one huge run on their last possession, or their second to last possession because they went down and kicked field goal.
Mm-hmm.
He had like a fucking, what was it, like a 40, it was 44 yards, just untouched.
Yeah.
Until he went out of bounds. And they got a fucking penalty on that play as well. He got hit late.
Whenever, it feels like when Buffalo is slacking and like the team isn't there, all they do is they just have Josh Allen run the ball.
Yep.
He trucks someone, hurdles someone. He does these big, crazy-ass play, and then the team just is electric from then on.
Yeah.
It's just, that's all it needs. They just need the spark of being like, as soon as Josh Allen does his thing, we're here.
What concerns me about this is, like, there's a lot of dumb shit that happened in this game. Like, Diggs was complaining about how he wasn't getting the ball early on in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes sense. You're the best player on the offense, I think. I don't know. There was that, and then, like, the terrible penalties, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just terrible penalties from Miami side. If they limit those and they just keep running the football, I think they do well. And they have a shot to – I mean, they had the shot to win this game going into the fourth, even late in the fourth, and then they just kind of collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
They played better football in the second half, I feel like, and Buffalo was able to eke out a win where they shouldn't have got it. Fucking Josh Allen even had, he had a fumble in this game that was horrendous. He's in the pocket looking downfield trying to get a big play and just get sacked from behind from Christian Wilkins, and they're able to get the ball. Like, instances like that, you should lose that game, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So that's what they're formidable in that aspect, where even if they make mistakes, they can still win the game. I did like how they played, but I don't know. I feel like Miami just let this one slip. So that's all I've got to say about this game. Let's see. Week 15. Was that all the games?
Yeah, that was
Are we
it.
caught up?
Yeah.
We are done with this segment.
Yeah.
So that's all of Saturday's games as well. So next week we won't be covering whenever we go to talk about week 15. We won't talk about the Saturday games at all.
Yeah, but now we're going to take our picks on week 16.
Yeah.
So kicking off week 16, we have Jacksonville at the Jets.
The Jets are favored by 2 points. At home.
I gotta quit.
Don't know how.
I gotta quit doing this. I
What's
took
up?
the Jets.
You took the Jets?
I did.
Fuck, I need to pull up mine.
You took the Jags.
I took the Jags.
Yeah, because you should. It seems like Jags are gonna win
They've
this.
been far more consistent than the Jets have, and
I don't know why I do what I do. But
why you took the Jets?
I don't know why I took the Jets. Looking at it, I don't really feel great about it, but I am going to stick with it. I think Mike White will be back. I think that he'll be able to,
What if
spark a little bit
What
extra.
if Zach Wilson has a crazy game today against the Lions and they just keep rolling with him? I think that puts them in danger against this team. Because I think that this team has like a comparable defense to Detroit, but I think that their pass rush is a little bit more lethal overall. I don't know. I think Jacksonville has a far better offense.
Yeah.
I think their quarterback is far better. I'm going to stick with the Jags. I like it.
And then I have the Ravens beating the Falcons.
I do too.
Yes.
Let's see what they're favored by.
Yeah, I don't have the.
I actually
we just
may
took the pick'ems.
switch that, to be honest. It is a pick'em. Yeah. That's a rough one. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, Falcons could definitely win this game. I think we're both kind of hesitant on saying that Desmond Ridder is going to win games. I think that's
I
at least
forgot
where I
he's
was.
starting.
Yeah.
You just kind of threw that in there.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna not bet on him.
I mean, maybe he provides a different spark for the offense for Atlanta. I feel like they don't really have tape on him or anything, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see what they're favored by. What was the game again?
It was Ravens-Falcons.
Ravens-Falcons. I don't see it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? It's not pulling up. Of course it isn't.
Yeah, so we'll just move on. Lions and the Panthers, we both bet the Lions.
It may be because they haven't established what the line is yet. That may be why. What did you say? What was the game?
Lions and Panthers. We both said the Lions. Lions are red hot. Panthers are actually kind of getting hot.
They are hot. They've played against some boo-boo teams.
Yeah, they seem like they're winning, but not like by a fashion of like being
They don't have
good.
an identity offensively for me.
Yeah, versus the Lions look like they are actually good and just smacking teams.
Yeah, I think that the Lions have a lot more ways to win. They're a lot more versatile on offense, and I think that Jared Goff gets it done because they're trying to make a playoff push. They need this win.
Yeah.
They are favored by 2.5 on the road in Carolina, so it may be warm there as well. Southern State, Charlotte in December, maybe. It should be clear, but we'll see. I do have the Lions, though.
Yeah. Next we both took Chiefs beating the Seahawks because
It's fair.
come on.
I would see Mahomes. Mahomes is probably going to have, let's see. He may have his best game of the year just because his defense has been awful.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Isaiah Pacheco and Jarrett McKinnon get some rushing. I'd like to see them establish more of a running game because they're going to need it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of bruising football. They need to be able to run the ball.
Yeah.
But I just don't think Seattle has it. They had a good run. They've played well all year. You're a big Geno fan.
Yeah.
So
That's my guy.
it sucks. Let's see what the spread is on that one.
Yeah.
It's
We
not,
agreed a little bit.
It's not even ready yet.
We
They
agreed
don't
a
know
lot.
what to fucking put on this game.
Yeah, we agreed a lot this week.
I think it may be I saw one spread that was like 14. Or no, it was like 9 or something like that. I was like, that's a dumb. I don't think that's real.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna act like it's real, but if it is, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So,
next we have Browns and Saints. We both took the Browns.
Browns at the Saints.
I don't know if it's Browns at Saints.
Let's see.
No, it's New Orleans at Cleveland. But we both took the Browns. I just think that New Orleans is that bad that you just don't pick them to win games anymore.
Well, they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Or they do have quarterbacks, but they're bad. Oh, God. I don't even care about this game. Does Deshaun Watson finally have a good game?
Should. Probably.
They still have a shot to make the playoffs.
Game.
They have to worry about other teams clinching at this point, but
I think he'll have a good game. I'm thinking like 200, a little, like 220 yards.
Couple touchdowns, maybe.
And 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, you're not like, this was a guy who like was the best quarterback in the league, but you're like, I see why they
gave him a fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah, you're starting to see.
Yeah, I guess so. I do like the Browns over the Saints. Hopefully they fucking win. I hope the Saints lose out. I'd like to see y'all win some more games.
No.
Even the Rams. I'd love to see the Rams beat the Packers this week.
Yeah.
That would put them behind the Saints in the standings for the draft. Yeah, that'd be so good.
I don't know about that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm hoping just because
Yeah.
for selfish reasons, but
yeah,
I don't see it happening.
Next we have the Texans are at Tennessee. I believe we both took the Titans. We did.
This spread's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Didn't this team tie? This is the the
Houston?
No. It was the Colts. The Colts and Texans.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, because the Texans right now are 1-11-1. 1-1-1-1.
They're gonna lose that game.
I know, but then it's gonna suck because then they're 1-12-1.
Tennessee's favored by 8.5 at home. The over/under is set at 41. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Maybe Houston has some fire left after getting fucking just stomped by the Chiefs this week. Maybe they come into this game like it's a division matchup. They have a lot of tape on what the fuck Tennessee's going to be doing. I don't think they can pass the ball. Maybe they keep it close. I think that they cover, but I don't think they win, obviously. They're the worst team in the NFL. So
the Titans I don't know if they're good.
They're not good.
Like, some weeks I'm like, oh,
they're not an elite team because offensively you know what they're doing. And then defensively they're tough, but it's not like they're really predictable.
Yeah.
You know
they're weird.
I mean?
They're a really weird team.
They're relying a lot on their corners, and their corners haven't been good all year. So
yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just like, to me, the Titans are not a great team.
Yeah.
But you need some coffee. You better be drinking that shit.
I've been trying. Next we have Bengals at New England. We both took the Bengals to win this game.
Did we?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at both of ours.
Oh, I'm looking at Anthony's picks. He picked the fucking Patriots.
Of course he did.
Honestly, we could probably say what his picks were. So he picked the Jets to win.
Awesome.
He picked the Ravens.
Yeah.
He picked the Lions.
Of course.
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Browns.
Yeah.
He picked the Titans.
So
he picked the Pats to win against the Bengals.
So this is the first time that I didn't agree with Anthony.
The only disagreement I had with you was the Jags.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're basically on board except for that first game.
Last week we were felt like truly an odd man out. I was picking every game different than you all.
And the week before I was odd man out.
Yeah, and then you were. This week
we're being pretty consistent because it seems like the matchups that we have obvious. They're pretty obvious for us.
Yeah.
So.
That's it. This week it feels like we're all locked in.
But yeah, I do think that the Bengals are far better than the Pats at this point. They're more lethal offensively. Their defenses play well.
So I will say, to credit to Anthony, since he's not here,
yeah,
it's at New England.
Yeah,
and it is hard to win at New England this late in the year.
Yeah, I'm on board.
And
with that.
And then how good their defense is makes it a little.
Maybe I'm clouded by the roster standpoint because I just think that the Bengals their roster's far better than New England's at this point. And New England hasn't looked consistent on offense for a while now.
Yeah, and like I said, we both take Cincinnati because
Yeah.
we're picking
I think
the
he's
better team
considering that with how much Joe Burrow's been on the ground, his offensive line hasn't played well pretty much all year, but they've been better recently.
Yeah.
Maybe Matt Judon can get a lot of sacks in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Establish himself as like a legitimate defensive player of the year candidate, which he is, but it's like he puts himself a little bit over the top. That's probably where Anthony would go with his analysis on this. I'd like to see that happen. Maybe give a little bit of a shakeup to the Bengals, like, hey, this is what we need to work on going into the playoffs for them to have a real shot against a team that can actually rush the passer.
Yeah.
My thing is, they need to come with their A game. The Patriots do. They need to be able to run the ball. That should be their identity right now.
Yeah.
They haven't been good enough at it, and they need to get better.
Yeah.
Especially against what we consider to be one of the best teams in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
If they can beat this team and they can finish out the season winning the rest of their games, which is going to be rough. It's going to be a tough contest, honestly. They should be able to make the playoffs and have a decent shot in the first round.
Yeah, for sure. Up next, we have the Giants at Minnesota.
Okay.
We both took the Vikings, if I had to guess. I don't see yours.
What did you say it was? The Vikings where?
Vikings and Giants. Oh, you took the Giants to beat the Vikings.
Yeah.
I took the Vikings.
That's for sure.
Cool.
So, by the way, the spread for New England, Cincy's favored by 3 on the road.
That's fair.
That's fine. I think that's a fair spread.
Yeah.
As for this game, to me, I think that the Giants, to me, they're unpredictable offensively.
Of course.
And if Daniel Jones is going to have a good game, it's against the worst passing defense in the NFL. They are 32 in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think the Giants, I mean, if we look at what just happened in this game yesterday, if they give up that many points to the Giants and they're struggling to get back into the game, the Colts defense is not up even close to what the Giants are right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Giants have played a lot better consistently on defense. I think that they have a lot better defensive personnel. And to me, Saquon needs to get back and rolling, and he could do it against this defense. Justin Jefferson may go off, may have a great game, great game, but it doesn't really make a difference as long as their defense continues to give up points.
Yeah.
That's what it is to me.
This was like the game that Minnesota has to show that like they can actually win in the playoffs, and they need to smack the Giants.
I mean, this is a potential matchup for their first round.
Yeah.
Like, if the Giants win this game and they can win out, well, I mean, they still play Philly again. I don't think they win that game. But,
I don't either, but they could.
They could win. But, like, if they end up falling one game for the rest of their season, they have 4 games left, they win 3 of them, they're a playoff team. So, like, imagine this being a playoff matchup, a preview for what they have to look forward to against a not great team in New York, but, like, you got to get better at some point, and what better way to do it against a quarterback that hasn't been good for the majority of his career and hasn't looked like he even belongs?
Mm-hmm.
Let's make him look like that again. Like, pick it up. People are saying you're frauds for a reason. This isn't like we're not trying to be mean to you.
Yeah. The next game we have is Buffalo at Chicago. I did look. Anthony did not pick on the last game. I think he just maybe have missed it on his predictions.
Yeah.
But we have Bills.
I would assume he's going to pick the Vikings.
Yeah, I would too.
That's what I would think he would do.
Bills play the Bears.
I think it's.
We all took the Bills.
There's not a whole lot of analysis there. The Bears have been bad all year. The Bills just won a really tough game against a tough opponent. Maybe the emotional side of that game, like coming out with a win there, that could cause like a little bit of like looking ahead against a team they should beat, and they struggle. And Justin Fields, I mean, he's the wild card. If he has a great game, they can win any game, I think.
Yeah, this game will be different next year if we play him again because we'll have Will Anderson Jr. and
that's true.
Things will get a lot better for us.
I hope you don't get him because I hope we get him, but
I hope not.
That sucks. Who did he pick? He picked the Bills? Yeah, we all picked the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We have the Commanders at San Francisco.
Commanders at San Francisco.
I took the 49ers. You took the Commanders.
I did take the Commanders.
What did Anthony take?
We need to talk about
how can you take the Commanders when San Francisco has Big Dick Brock?
Because the original Big Dick Brock is sitting there in fucking Washington.
No, he's not.
Taylor Heineke's a baller.
Taylor Heineke is about to get shit on.
And without Debo at this point, like
No.
you're going to be asking for Brandon Ayuk and Ray McCloud to pick up that production.
George Kittle is.
The rush defense from Washington has been great. They've
It's
played
CMC.
really fucking well. Maybe they need to get them out of the backfield to try to get their run game going. Essentially, they're just passing out of the backfield. I think the Commanders have a shot. They desperately need this win as well because I think the Giants win this week or they win in Week 16. So how else are the Commanders going to make the playoffs if they don't win a game like this?
Yeah,
make themselves apparent. Like we beat the only team in the NFL with one loss.
Yeah,
we can also beat who is considered one of the best teams in the NFL.
I'm all in on the San Francisco. Like, I'm big on the San Francisco.
I like San Francisco, but like they can't keep rolling this for. You lose games in the NFL.
I am going to say this now.
I think the Commanders are a very worthy playoff team at this point. Much more than the fucking Seahawks.
Big Dick Brock will have a much better game than
Taylor Heineke?
Than Jimmy G. Jr. Taylor Heineke.
Jimmy G. Jr.? Nah, bro. He's different. I don't think he's Jimmy G.
I think he's Jimmy G. Jr.
Because he's not really a backup. I think Jimmy's a backup. Taylor's a fucking baller, man.
I don't know. I think that just...
I'll put it on the table, and you can decide this whether or not if you want to. I don't give a fuck. Taylor finishes with more yards.
No.
And touchdowns.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Brock finishes with more yards and more touchdowns.
Pre-Christmas bet? 10?
Yeah.
10 on it? All right, cool. All right, got it?
Yeah.
All right, dope. All right.
Yeah, I'm all...
I'm betting
on Brock.
Let's go. I love betting games where I end up fucking losing. It's awesome. This is a fully, gut.
Now,
I feel like my analysis is valid, though.
How is he going to throw more yards when he's on his ass?
That is a good point.
Bosa is going to put him on his back 5 times.
But he gets out of the pocket. He makes plays. That's his thing.
He ain't getting away from
Brian Robinson and fucking Antonio Gibson. They're gonna be running a lot of screens that way. They're gonna run at Nick Bosa. They're gonna isolate him just like we did with Micah Parsons. They have that style of play. And Ron Rivera, he's went up against Kyle Shanahan a lot in his career.
Yeah.
I think he knows what he's going to be able to do with this roster. So
I mean, we'll see.
I have a good feeling about it. I don't want to pick against him, but
the next game is Philly at Dallas. I wish Anthony was here. Anthony took the Cowboys.
Did he really?
Anthony took the Cowboys.
He's a bitch. He did have him. He had him splitting at the beginning of the season. I did too. It's in Dallas. It's a pick 'em. Dallas is favored by 1. It was at what? I think the spread was at what? It was 3. In favor of Dallas opening up. It is now down to 1. The public's on Philly. That's a scary thing, and they've went. They've been winners against the spread all year. Mm-hmm. So why not do it again against a fucking division rival? You have Dak back. Is he better than Cooper Rush?
Yes.
Can Cooper Rush start the rest of the season?
That was the worst time for football. That was so annoying.
Over under set at 50.5. Oh man, it may be a shootout.
I just don't see how you can watch the Texans Dallas game and then think that Dallas can beat Philly.
I don't either.
That's how I feel about it.
Oh, we gotta talk about it. Michael Parsons. Hey, buddy. He's pretty good. He's a good player. Not good. He's great. I mean, he's their best player. He got a lot of fucking shit to say, which we are gonna bring up. We'll bring it up. I have the quote.
Okay.
Michael Parsons, you fucked up. You fucked up. You're not getting a sack in this game. You're going to look real fucking dumb in this game. And don't be surprised if Jalen Hurts makes you look like a bitch in this game. That's all I got to say. They're going to win this fucking game.
Okay.
It's happening.
Next, we got Raiders at Steelers. I took the Raiders. Anthony took the Raiders.
Steelers are favored.
You took the Steelers.
Steelers are favored at home by 1.
Yeah, you took them.
The Raiders are bad.
Yeah.
The Steelers are bad.
Or worse.
The best unit of both teams is the Steelers defense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because to me, it's the only thing that I can expect from the Raiders offense is that Josh Jacobs has a big day again.
Yeah.
And they squander it because they didn't get Devontae Adams the ball. Or Derek Carr throws a fucking ridiculous interception or something.
Yeah.
There's going to be some sort of turnovers that are created. TJ Watt may have a career day, like multiple sacks.
My biggest thing here is I don't know who's going to be quarterback, and if it's Mitch Trubisky, I will not give any credit to him winning. Like, he is not going to win this game.
That is the rub with me is, like, what are we going to get quarterback-wise? But, like, some guys need to step the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Najee Harris needs to step up. If he's got the C on his chest. Let's see why.
Yeah.
You need to go on and have a great performance. You need to prove why you were selected as high as you were.
I mean, he's great, just not this year.
He's good. He just hasn't had a great season this year. You need momentum going into the next season.
Yeah.
Like, we need to know that, like, moving forward, we've got something to look forward to from our backfield. And if Kenny Pickett plays, I hope that he's a part of it.
And that's
actually the last Saturday game.
Yeah.
Because that's what all Christmas Eve games.
Maybe that's why. No, that's not why. Okay. So we do have 2 Christmas games, though.
we have 3.
3 Christmas games.
We have 3 Christmas
Okay,
games.
so one's not showing up again, dude. Oh,
I got you.
fuck you, DraftKings.
We got Green Bay and Miami. I took the Dolphins. You took the Dolphins. Anthony took the Dolphins.
They got to get right at some point. They're on a 3-game skid. I mean, if they lose another one, they have a threat of losing or missing the playoffs. And
How lucky for Miami to play at home on Christmas. Because, like, especially when you're playing Green Bay. I would have picked Green Bay to win this game if it was
in Green Bay, yeah, it'd be fucking. I mean, it's
horrible.
probably going to be disgusting snow, fucking 3 feet of snow.
Yeah.
People aren't coming out of their homes. They're stuck inside watching the fucking Packers play.
Poor guys.
Oh, man.
That's my worst nightmare.
I'd like to see Jordan Love get some snaps in this game because, like, I don't see them having a good shot. I think Christian Watson's still going to have a big day, but it's not like.
That's how it works.
I don't know. There's not much I like about Green Bay at this point, even though they did win last week. I don't know.
Next, we got Denver at the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I took the Rams.
Pick them.
You took the Rams.
Pick them right now.
And Anthony took the Rams.
We got the fucking guy at quarterback.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield. He's going to fucking get it done. He's better than the other guy.
That's why I took him.
Is that really why?
Yeah,
that's the only analysis you need.
I take Baker over Russ.
Honestly, I could see Russ getting sacked a couple of times from Aaron Donald.
I'm glad you didn't hear that.
Wait, what?
I said I'd take Baker over Russ this year, so that's what I'm doing.
Oh, no. I mean, that's not a great... You're not in a good position there. This fucking over. It's set at 35.5.
That's bad.
That may be the lowest total of the season.
I didn't know it went under 40 because I was going to say like 30-something. I was like, no, I've never seen it under.
Well, think about it this way. Both teams score 18 points. That's the over-under, essentially. I mean, that would beat the over. Is 18 points for both teams. It's so bad. You think about it, it's like, how do teams score so little points?
Yeah.
And then you look at the teams that are playing, it's like, yeah, no shit. The Rams have been one of the worst offenses all year. Yeah. So have the Broncos. Neither defense, I think, matters. I think it's whoever can get like a defensive touchdown, maybe. Maybe that's what causes it. Or a turnover within territory, I guess. That's what flips the game, I guess.
I think you would change your answer on this one.
What's up?
Next, we have Tampa Bay at Arizona. We both took the Bucks. You took the Cardinals.
Yeah, because
Kyler got hurt. I am assuming you will change your answer here.
I don't know, though, because, like, Colt's been decent in spots where he has to come in for Kyler, and I think that they don't necessarily have to pass to win.
Yeah.
James Conner's had a couple of good games in a row. Maybe he can get going, and you have DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Like, as long as he's a part of the game plan and, like, getting Marquise Brown involved as well, like, if they can pass the ball in an adequate way, like, if Colt just doesn't make mistakes, turn over the football, which Tampa's prone, like, they can create turnovers. It's just a matter of, like, how spotty those are. Tampa is favored on the road in Arizona by 3. I think it would have been, like, a pick 'em with Kyler being there, but I don't know, with another week under his belt and there's no tape on Colt this year, maybe they have a different way of going about this game plan. So I'll stick with it just because I picked him to begin with. I don't think that it's such a dramatic drop-off without Kyler, even though he is their best player. I do like him. I just think that Tampa's the worst fucking team in their division, Or they're the worst team to win their division. Is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say they're bad.
Whoa.
They're not that bad.
Whoa.
The Saints are terrible.
Saints
so
are real bad.
They're fucking bad.
And then we got a Monday night game.
Yep.
Chargers at Indy. We all took the Chargers.
I don't know.
The Colts can't win
the
games.
Fighting Jeff Saturdays. They're fucking garbage.
Colts can't win.
The Chargers need this game.
Great.
And the one game of the year that they could fucking lose.
Oh, if they need it, they're gonna lose.
That's what I'm saying. They fucking do. This is a verb now that they charger it. Like that's just a Charger thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't
remember at the beginning of the year when the big thing was, oh, don't be saying the Chargers do Chargers things and they're gonna fall out of the playoffs again. Like this team is legit. Don't fuck us up.
They did
Don't make
just
me
beat
look
their
dumb.
AFC South rival
Don't make
in
me
the
look,
Jags.
Don't make me look dumb,
The
Chargers.
Jags are not better than the fucking Colts. You just beat the Jags. Can you get it done? Do not make Matt Ryan look like he is worthy of any more snaps.
Matt
Please.
Ryan is about to throw
Dude.
6 touchdowns.
6 touchdowns. Oh man.
They're really about to just throw this
Do you know
game
who I
away.
am? I am Matt fucking Ryan, former MVP Matt Ryan, who lost the Super Bowl that year and won the MVP after being up 25. I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, I hate them.
Fucking hate them, dude.
All right, we're moving on.
This fucking segment is over.
We got the NFL MVP race.
Oh shit! Why did I do that? I just closed my fucking tab.
That's stupid.
That's something stupid right there. Yeah, let's fix that. Let's see what we got. So we're gonna pull up.
So first thing I have is ESPN's top 5, I believe.
Yeah,
Top 5, and then they have the just missed.
and they have the odds as well.
Okay.
We know the
and
odds
they have
on
their
favorite at
stats.
this point. Yeah.
So we're gonna go to
You're on
just
the ESPN one.
Yes.
Is that what you said? Okay.
just missed. We have Geno Smith,
Okay.
Tyreek Hill.
I think that both of those guys are out.
Yes.
I wouldn't give them a vote at this point.
Micah Parsons
Yes. I'm okay with
and
that.
Justin Jefferson is the last one out.
Oh man. Because honestly, I think I would put Justin in my top 5.
He would be over the 5th for me.
Well, if
Number
this would fucking load, I could fucking see who it is.
Number 5 is Tua.
Oh, goddamn, yeah. Yeah,
So,
I'm there. Justin's
Tua
over.
this year has 3,004 passing yards. I don't know how updated this is. It might be a game behind, but it should be pretty close. He has 3,004 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Yeah, it's a game behind because he just played.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I figured.
um,
So, I mean, that's good.
it's crazy that like an MVP candidate only has like 20 like he's in the 20s in terms of passing touchdowns at this point.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a lower offensive output year. You know what I mean?
Because the next jump is where you actually have it.
Yeah.
Because next is Josh Allen.
Okay.
He has 3,553 yards, 628 rushing yards, 32 total touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
His turnovers are bad.
Turnovers are bad.
He is leading the AFC at this point. That could be the kicker for his narrative is like they're leading the AFC. They're the number 1 seed. They've played tough opponents. They've beat the Chiefs, which Mahomes is going to be in the race, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
They still have to play the Bengals. If they beat the Bengals, like he has a really good shot of winning it because he needs to play well in that game in order to win. So like, I like that. You said he was a 3 or 4.
He's a
so
4.
it's Tua than him.
2 is a 5.
Yep.
Josh Allen is a
2
4.
AFC East quarterbacks. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
We wouldn't be saying that at the beginning of the season, I don't think. Like 2 is
No, I
going to be the
definitely
MVP
wouldn't.
discussion.
I would have put Josh as maybe
So you would
1
have
or
Justin?
2.
Would you have Justin at 5 instead of out? You would take
Yeah.
2 out and put him.
I
in?
would take.
Would you have Justin as high as 4? Because I would have him over Josh at this point.
No, I would take. And maybe if if there was a chance that he could win it, I would.
Yep.
But he can't. They do not give this award to anyone but a QB, so I don't think that I would even really consider anyone not a quarterback higher than 5 because then you're just kind of.
But
throwing
he
it
is going to
away.
be like.
Just like I had Derrick Henry winning that.
You also have to
MVP,
kind of project
and
out
they
what
just
they're
didn't.
going to do to finish the season. Justin's going to break the record at this point, I think.
It's looking
he's
very
been
good.
looking that good. They're 11-3 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to finish with a better record than Buffalo, I think, because I think they do lose against the Bengals. and they won their division already. So they won their division in week 15, like up to week 15. And he's been their best player easily.
Yeah.
Talking about the best player and the best player on one of the best teams. They're not
Yeah.
the best team, but like he's made that much of an impact. I think that Josh has been catered by his defense a little bit, whereas like Justin is the reason they're winning.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah.
Um,
Number 3, you're gonna be very happy about this one.
let me guess.
I can give you a hint after if you don't have one.
I'm gonna like this.
You're gonna like it. You've been on the narrative that he has not been talked about enough.
Oh, Joe Burrow. Yeah, for sure.
Joe Burrow
Yeah.
is number 3.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, he should.
3,685 passing yards, 234 rushing,
Mm-hmm.
32 total touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
He is my third pick right now.
He has the same amount of total touchdowns as Josh Allen.
Yep.
He has more passing yards,
Yep.
way less rushing yards.
Well, yeah, he does.
400 way less rushing, 400 less rushing yards,
Yep.
but 2 less interceptions.
So he has nine on the year.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Just looking at
think
the stats,
about what
you
he's
have
had to
take
do throughout the season as well. Missing Jamar for 4 games. He didn't have Jamar for no, it was like 6 games. He didn't have Jamar for a long stretch.
Yeah.
Their best offensive
They
weapon.
didn't have Joe Mixon.
They didn't have
either.
Joe Mixon for a couple weeks because of the concussion. He was still
Yeah.
able to win those games. Started out 1-3, has been great since.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, didn't he throw like 4 or 5 interceptions within those first 3 weeks?
yeah, he was terrible. The first,
If not,
most
even,
of his picks came within
if-
the first 2 weeks.
I
He had
was like,
5.
If not, it might be more than 5.
Yeah,
So like,
and they still had a shot to win against Pittsburgh, so they could be the number 1 seed at this point if they just won that game. Like,
yeah,
Pittsburgh had a late field goal to win that game.
yeah,
I'm not making excuses for his losses, but like to me, when it comes to like upper echelon quarterbacks, he's got the stats, he's got the performances, he's got the wins. He's leading the division now.
yeah. He is my 3
I'd put him at 3. Yeah,
because the next 2.
I think Josh and him are real close though. Like they're close,
Yes.
just because like they've played comparable opponents.
So
I think
would you put Jefferson at 3?
no.
Because you said you would put Jefferson over Josh.
I would, just because like when I think of MVP, I think of like what is the reason your team is playing as well as it is.
Yeah,
I think Josh gets his defense is far more of a compliment to their success right now.
I get it.
Because he's made a lot of mistakes, turn the football over, and it really hasn't bit him in the ass as much. But with Joe, I feel like he's been missing players that are key to their offense and still being able to succeed. Whereas like that's kind of the notch ahead for me. And he's had his ACL injury a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
He's looked like the second best quarterback in the NFL since. So I'd have Justin right behind him. That'd be my vote. Maybe Josh, then Justin, then him. I know who's 2.
it's crazy, isn't
It's
it?
a bad look for ESPN. I get why they did it, but
It's weird to me that he's still 2,
yeah,
and like
That
I
sucks.
get it because
he's the odds-on favorite right now. Jalen Hurts,
Jalen is 2.
odds-on favorite to win the
3,157 passing yards, so less passing yards.
Yep. Isn't he
600,
minus 165?
140 on here.
140 on there. Okay.
Again, it's not completely updated, but pretty close.
Yeah.
686 rushing yards, 32 total touchdowns, so same as Josh and Joe,
Yep.
but only 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Is
That's the
so
thing.
much better.
He has 5 total turnovers on the season. He's lost 2 fumbles. Played comparable levels of talent, comparable level teams as like Joe Burrow, because their division isn't great, but like he's gone up against the Ravens and he's lost his division games, whereas Philly's only lost 1.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways I could. Obviously, I want a quarterback over Justin Jefferson, which we already have 2 in my eyes, which I have Joe and him.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes to Joe versus from Joe versus Jalen,
Yeah.
to me the wins matter,
Yeah.
the turnovers matter,
Yeah.
the rushing stats matter. Joe has a lot more passing yards than Jalen, but like I think that he makes up for it obviously by having the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. So
I think the thing with Jalen for me is he isn't losing.
yeah,
At the end of the day, it seems like that's their criteria is best player, best team wins MVP.
right.
It's Jalen. Like I just don't understand how he's not the number 1 whenever your criteria most years is this guy.
Yeah, it's the best player on the best team. The thing about it is, I think that people don't want to finally give him the credit because of what happened in Alabama. I think they have the hang up. Like, he's a completely different player since then, and the narrative around him hasn't really shifted. Like, he can't throw the football. He's been the best deep ball thrower in the NFL.
Every time I see Alabama highlights, it always surprises me he has long hair. Like, he just I just know him. I just know him as like how he looks now.
Yeah.
And every time I see him with
Clean
long hair,
got the waves sort of thing.
yeah, like every time I see him with long hair, though, I'm always like, that's not a Jalen. Like, I don't know why he was doing that. Like,
I don't know.
he's cool, and like I don't know, he has that swagger about him and everything.
Yeah.
I really like Jalen. I didn't coming into because I'm just very extremely skeptical about any Alabama quarterback.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with what the talk about him was prior to the season.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold people to their word based off of what, like, the way the way he came into the starter role, how it happened, he didn't have a big year last year in terms of the passing stats. He struggled throwing the ball down the field. Didn't really have a true number one because Devontae was in his rookie year.
Yes.
Whereas, like, he's established himself. He could be a number one on a lot of teams.
Yeah. My other biggest thing for Jalen is, like, I want to give him the credit that he is probably the best quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Maybe second best behind Mahomes, but he is definitely. I think he's the most valuable player. I just don't necessarily think he is the best quarterback on the field.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about here.
But I will say the growth for me is what's so different. Jalen, I would have talked about last year as being a bottom half quarterback, versus this year I'm talking about him as being a top 10 quarterback at his absolute worst.
Yeah.
And
do you think he's established himself as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL after this season, the way he's played?
So next year, if I had to pick best quarterbacks, if you put them all in the same situation, you go Mahomes.
Yep. I think Joe Burrow's established. Like,
Josh Allen.
Yeah. That'd be my thing. It'd be those two.
So Josh Allen, Joe Burrow.
Maybe Herbert at 4.
I was going to say Herbert at 4, and then you go...
I don't know how you go past Hurts at that point. I just don't know how. Based off how well he's played, I think he's made that much of an impact. So at worst, he's like the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. Then you got like Tua is in that conversation right now.
What the fuck am I thinking?
Maybe even.
Oh no. I mean, you. I think you have to give credit to Aaron Rodgers here at 5.
Yeah, for sure.
So Aaron Rodgers might be the 5.
He's had to make up for a lot of.
Do you say Tom Brady at that 6? Maybe not.
I think he's beyond the point where he's able to carry a team. So I don't know. I think that Jalen's way better than Tom right now.
So I think that, like, you could say one of them possibly. I'm saying at his worst. You have those two over him. You have I mean, yeah. So I mean, that's why I said top 10 at the absolute worst. Like, if you're really Lamar Jackson,
yeah,
Deshaun Watson maybe could get to that level.
But at some point or another, whenever the production becomes that consistent, you got to give it up.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, to me, when it comes to analyzing what he's done, the criticisms he's had.
Justin Fields.
True, yeah. I mean, he honestly could.
Yeah.
He could if he gets a fucking number 1.
Give him that same situation.
Oh, fuck, the game's wrong.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Brock Purdy.
Geno
Smith. I'm not saying Brock Purdy.
But yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I really wanted to, like, cut hairs, maybe I could put Aaron and Tom just out of respect, and then put Jalen at that 8.
That'd
7.
be like the worst you would have him?
I'd put him at like 7. Yeah. Put him at the 7th.
So what happens if he has like a comparable season, maybe even a better season next year than what?
Oh, and Lamar. So yeah, 8. I'd put Lamar over him still.
So you're going off essentially what the track record has been so far.
Yeah.
But he has like given himself a little bit of footing.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, I would say the jump of being who I would have considered at his absolute best, the 15th, 16th best quarterback.
Yeah.
To jump up and be like, I could argue for him to be top 5, but I'm gonna keep him right in the top 10.
Yeah,
is phenomenal growth, and
yeah, he's had the greatest jump from season 2 to 3 since like even Josh Allen.
Yeah, so I think that next year we can see him again if he puts that consistency. Because like I wasn't big on like Justin Jefferson. That rookie year, I was like, let's give him a year. Like I'm very like if you have 2 great years, I'm a lot more likely to just be like, I'm on the bandwagon. You're amazing. There's very few people that I do that with. Gino's one that I'm like, oh, I'm all in on his one good year, but
Yeah.
But like usually,
And that's the
it's
thing
two
that
good years. I'm all in.
That's the thing I wanted to bring up. Micah Parsons
Yes, let's
went
hear it.
on the Von Miller's podcast this week, and to me, it doesn't really seem like the smartest thing whenever your player that you consider to be a leader on your team, the best player on your team, comes out and has some sort of criticism towards the team they're not even playing this week, because he said that Von Miller had brought up Jalen Hurts in a context about the MVP, and he questioned whether or not it was like the system, the team, versus whether or not Jalen is actually that good. And to that, I'm going to say that literally every quarterback in the NFL runs a system, and every single quarterback that has won the MVP has had a good team around him.
Yeah.
I don't think there's when's the last time a team that had an MVP quarterback had a shitty team around him? Can you name it?
No.
Can you even think of one? Because to
No.
me, it's like Aaron Rodgers had Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
I
was thinking Matt Ryan, but you have like Calvin Ridley. Did he have Calvin Ridley, or is that Julio?
He had Julio.
He had Julio.
Calvin was there, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Dude, by the way, Calvin going to Jags.
Yeah,
he's been looking even fucking
maybe
better.
he's their number one next year.
He's that good. Oh my god, I just remembered.
Yeah, it's wild.
That team's gonna be scary.
I don't know. My thing is like, if you look at Jalen Hurts and notice the growth from year 2 to 3, the things that he's worked on, everything like the narrative around him, like he can't throw the ball. He's been the best deep ball thrower in the NFL. He has the best passer rating throwing the ball down the field.
Yeah.
Down the field, he has the most first downs throwing the ball downfield for anybody. He has the most explosive plays for any quarterback in the NFL. Has the most rushing first downs for any quarterback in the NFL. Has over 500 yards rushing. Has double-digit touchdowns as a quarterback rushing. Yeah. And the thing is like, look at every player on the team that is having their career year.
Yeah.
In tandem with how well Jalen Hurts has played.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders. Devontae Smith is going to end up with more yards than he did in his rookie year. A.J. Brown has the best season of his career so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not by accident.
Yeah, no.
He's taking up the guys that are supposed to make him better up a notch beyond what they even like. There was no expectation for him to be an MVP candidate, and they don't want to give him that credit. That's the nudge, and that's what grinds my gears to a certain extent. It's like you're seeing it with your own fucking eyes. He has the best record in the NFL, best team in the NFC, gonna make the playoffs. He's sat out in several fourth quarters this year as well. So what about those games where he's not even playing in the fourth quarter and he's not getting the stats that work towards the MVP? I don't give a fuck if he wins the MVP. What matters to me is whenever he's standing up on the podium holding a Lombardi. That's what I give a fuck about.
Yeah.
So Micah Parsons, I understand you have this this hang up about what the MVP means to you, but that's not what he's looking forward to.
Yeah.
We're chasing a Lombardi trophy. You need to worry about the Jacksonville Jaguars because you still have a shot to win the NFC East. And if you fall short, that's going to be what's talked about. Mm-hmm. You were worried about Jalen Hurts instead of your fucking team that's in front of you.
Yeah.
You have a very tough quarterback to play this season or this week.
Yeah.
He's on the same level as Jalen Hurts in terms of talent. Go out and show that you can beat that guy and then worry about Philly in the following week.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about that. We can get to the number one, though. We all know who number one is.
It's Patrick Mahomes. The best quarterback in the league.
I don't disagree
that
he should be obviously one or two.
Easy.
To me, they're 1A, 1B at this point.
Yeah.
4,160 yards. We did talk about this earlier. 4,160 yards, 280 rushing yards, 35 total touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
Yeah. His turnovers and the record are the only thing that holds him back from being my MVP at this point.
Yeah.
I think Jalen is the MVP in my eyes at this point. They have a similar impact on their teams. Patrick Mahomes is doing it without Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
I mean, he still has Travis Kelce, who has been phenomenal this year. But I think he's just, at this point, he's established himself as a Hall of Fame player, Hall of Fame leader, Hall of Fame he's like a force multiplier is the term that like Eric Mangini throws out there for quarterbacks. Does he make the players around him a lot better?
Yes.
That's what Patrick Mahomes has done his entire career. And if he didn't have such a good support system early on, I don't think he's necessarily this good. But because he did, and he's able to have success even this late, he has a great play caller in Andy Reid.
Yeah, I was going to say Andy Reid has helped him so much. And, because like I wasn't a believer in Andy Reid. I'm not going to be
the guy that takes away from his success because he has that. You know what I mean? Like that's what's been happening with Jalen with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert hasn't been there for 4 weeks. Like what about that?
Yeah, I don't take away from Jalen, but I think that like
Joe Burrow has great fucking talent around him. Do you think we're taking away from him?
No. Whenever you put a quarterback and you put an established number one receiver, the growth has just shown that makes them better. It makes
all the difference. Like, Josh Allen didn't make his jump until he got Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. That's how
Kirk Cousins wasn't nearly as good as he is right now without Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Even Thielen was
Joe Burrow is kind of a cheat answer on this one because he was hurt and then Jamar came in.
Yeah.
So
but he also, he got T. Higgins in the same year as Jamar, and, like, both of those guys are number one receivers. Like, and I don't know, man. To me, I get where ESPN is going with this. I understand why they have Mahomes. He has like 4 more yards total than Jalen.
Yeah.
In terms of touchdowns, he's ahead by 3? Because it's 32-35, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to end up with 5,000 yards, over 40 touchdowns passing. He'll still have the interceptions.
Yeah.
But where Jalen has the upper hand, he may end up having to sit out that final game. Maybe that hurts him, or maybe it helps him.
Yeah.
In terms of the narrative for the MVP.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want him to sit that game because we're going to have the bye. It'd be nice if he actually goes in and plays that game because then he won't have as much rust in that first round bye in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So like Jalen can end up with like 35 passing touchdowns, over 4,000 yards passing, over 1,000 yards rushing maybe. Like if he goes slick the fuck off, that's over 5,000 yards total.
Yeah.
That's over 40 touchdowns total from a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's better than Lamar's MVP season because he had, 38 touchdowns? No, he had, 38 total touchdowns. 20 passing and then, 10 rushing or something like that. I don't know, man. It's going to come down to the wire. I think that Jalen's playing far worse teams than Patrick at this point in the season because he still has to play Denver again, who has a pretty decent defense. I mean, we have Chicago this week. Then we got Dallas. Then we got the Saints, and we finish up the season against the Giants again.
Yeah.
So I think at worst in that scenario, you end up 16-1. 16-1 on the best team in the NFL with over 40 touchdowns. I think that locks it up for him.
Yeah.
So I think that at the end of the race, we see Jalen Hurts holding an MVP trophy and a Lombardi and a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, I think if...
is what I hope. I hope he fucking wins the Super Bowl MVP. I'd rather him win a Super Bowl MVP than a regular one, fucking Micah. Oh, and Chris Sims. Chris Sims, he's just all on board with the fucking argument. Like, the system has been helping him and getting A.J. Brown. Chris Sims, he just doesn't want to give this guy credit.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't give a fuck.
But
he's been the best quarterback in the NFL. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of.
I mean, if you disagree with anything I've said,
I said
Jalen.
Jalen's number one because of the criteria that the NFL has set.
Okay.
It's the best player on the best team. I think if you all don't lose another game, if you all win out, only have one loss on the season, I don't see how it doesn't go to you all.
That's the best Eagles season of all time in terms of wins.
Yeah.
It's the best quarterback season in terms of overall statistics for a quarterback in Eagles history.
Yeah.
He's already broke so many team records in terms of multiple seasons with 10+ touchdowns. That's something.
I think it
hasn't had a fucking 1,000-yard receiver since 2014. He's going to have 2 of those.
Yeah. It won't hurt. I don't believe it'll hurt if you all win it. If Jalen wins the MVP, I don't think it hurts your all's chances at all.
Yeah.
But I think if you don't, I am a lot more likely to bet on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl because there's that extra
It's a motivation.
Chip. There's an extra chip on Jalen being like, I know I deserve that. I'm going to come show you all that I deserve
that. But he's not that guy where the individual credentials and
But he's also someone who's very he has that underdog mentality.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
And this would help that.
If we're talking about any player in the NFL that has that like has a legitimate like narrative of I've been counted out every fucking step of the way.
He's got to be on that list.
Every single team in the NFL passed on me in the draft, and the one team that took me now has me in a situation where I'm a Super Bowl MVP. Like,
yeah,
it's the greatest story in sports. I mean, I'm biased in that sense, but like, how can you not root for a guy to win everything? It's just crazy. Like, I didn't expect it to be this good. I was not saying Jalen Hurts is going to be an MVP. I said if he could be as good as Dak Prescott, there's no way this team isn't going into the playoffs like as one of the best teams in the NFL. And he's exceeded my expectations for him because I thought he was like his ceiling was Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Because even Dak, like he's a great, accurate, like doesn't turn the ball over a lot, very precise with his passes, like ball placement. He's even better than Dak at that. I think he's better than Dak Prescott, which is fucking insane. I didn't expect that to be the case.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing. One more thing, and we can finish up the segment.
Okay.
Shannon Sharp.
I love Shannon Sharp.
Going into the segment Friday, where they discussed the Micah Parsons set, like his shit on Von Miller's podcast.
Yes.
He used a fucking cringy analogy, first of all.
Oh, no.
Some fucking real liberal shit. I'm not no fucking liberal, first of all. I'm not a conservative either, so you know where the fuck I'm at. He said that Tim Cook is far more valuable than his workers underneath him. I'm like, first of all, shut the fuck up. Second of all, you're the one going into the season that because the Eagles didn't have a quarterback on par with Dak Prescott, that was the reason the Eagles weren't going to go far. I don't want to hear this fucking narrative being shifted. You need to stick with the energy you had at the beginning of the season. You said Dallas is going to win the division. You said Philly wasn't even going to be competitive in the division because Jalen Hurts is their quarterback versus Dak Prescott. I want to hear the same shit that was heard at the beginning of the season. I have the fucking receipts, dude. That's all I gotta say. Like, I had this dude's back the entire offseason, all the way through the season. Yep. He was my preseason pick for Super Bowl MVP. Mm-hmm. That's how good I thought this team could be.
Yes.
I didn't think that
the true believer.
I didn't think it was going to go this far. Mm-hmm. We're having to really argue for this guy to be an MVP when we really shouldn't. Mm-hmm. He's had the most growth of any player in the NFL. Yeah. He is the best quarterback in the NFL. He's on the best team in the NFL, and he deserves it. We're both on the same page there. Yeah. I don't know what Anthony would say. He may pick Mahomes, and I get it.
Yeah.
Like there's no pick. Like MVP hangover, I guess. Like we're not just giving it to Mahomes every single year. Kind of like with Jokic. I don't think he's going to win it for a third time in the NBA, but we're not having that same situation here. Mm-hmm. Mahomes gets a lot of praise for the MVP, but maybe because he's already won it and we have this expectation for him, he's not even meeting that because he had 50 touchdowns over 5,000 yards in his second season. Maybe that's the reason. But he's just as deserving at this point. If I had to be real about it, they're co-MVPs at this point.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll be like, I'm not biased in such way like Jalen has been the reason the Eagles have been so good. Yeah. But Mahomes has been the reason the Chiefs have been as good as they are. Yeah. And they're one game out from being the leader in the AFC.
If Mahomes ends with 5,050,
I don't see how he doesn't get it.
And the Eagles lose one more game, I think you kind of it'll submit that he's going to win. Yeah. I think if
there's got to be some sort of collapse.
But I think if the Eagles win out, they only have one loss on the season. I think that you just give it to Jalen, regardless.
What could end the MVP race discussion altogether is next week. Jalen Hurts goes out and balls out against Dallas, who's been one of the most consistent teams in the NFC. Gives them their fourth loss on the season, wins the NFC East. That would clinch it.
If he smacks the shit out of them.
That would clinch the NFC East.
For sure.
If he clinches the NFC East title next week and he balls the fuck out, it's over. Yeah. That's not. I don't know if I necessarily expect that, but I hope it does happen.
Yeah. You ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to keep talking about awards, and we actually have some breaking news where I am going to tell you about a giant award.
A giant award.
Argentina just won the World Cup.
Oh, really?
Making it that Messi has now won every award you can win in soccer.
Did he score any goals?
I'm not sure.
Because I think they were up 2-0 when I last looked at it.
Yeah. That was breaking news
That's
from my
awesome,
youngest
man.
brother. He texted and said that. Yeah, that.
Argentina won the World Cup. That's
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
Messi has now won every award you can win in soccer.
Yeah, he's
That is
the
actually
greatest of all
crazy.
time. I mean, him
I
and
think so,
like
too.
Pele.
Yeah.
I mean, Ronaldo, didn't he sign with like Saudi Arabia? Like he went to another team.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
That doesn't sound right, but I don't know.
Anyways,
But we're going to talk about awards. Just not soccer because we don't give a shit about soccer.
we really don't give a shit about soccer.
But that was important. So we're going to talk about the new NBA awards.
Okay.
The NBA has changed the names of all their awards
Yep.
to players.
Yes.
First off, do you like this change?
I like the change, but I want him to go further.
I just
And
don't care too much. Like, I didn't care that, like, this didn't
They
feel
wanted
like
to
the coolest
sponsor
thing.
him too, I guess, to
Yeah.
like provide more of that aspect of I don't know,
Do you
just
think
marketing within the NBA. But
Do you think other sports will follow suit? Do you think we'll get, like, the NFL award will be the Tom Brady award?
the MVP award,
Or, yeah.
I mean,
MVP will be
the
Tom
the
Brady
individual
award.
player with the most is Peyton Manning. He has 6, I think.
Yeah, but that's not what their criteria. And that's what that's what I'm gonna cover on all of these.
Okay.
Their criteria is weird.
Okay.
So we'll just go over it real quick.
All right.
Number 1, they changed the MVP to the Michael Jordan Trophy.
It's fine. I'm completely okay with that.
I vote yes.
Didn't
on
he have
this.
6 fucking MVPs or something?
The most MVPs ever is Kareem
Okay.
Abdul-Jabbar with
7.
6.
6. Okay, I was close.
Both Bill Russell and Michael Jordan both had the award 5 times.
5 times.
Wilt,
Because it
Wilt
was
and LeBron have them 4.
one year that Charles Barkley won it. It was real close. Mm-hmm. I think is what it was.
But yeah, I think that the MVP being who is renowned as the GOAT, I would say most people think that Jordan is the best, and at the absolute worst, you think he's the second best.
Yeah.
I think that is very good criteria for
Yeah.
being the MVP award.
Well, I think that if
This-
you were to give the nod to LeBron at this point, he's playing within this era. I think they
Yeah.
wanted to add some historical
Yes.
context to what the awards mean, which
Yeah.
is why I like the Defensive Player of the Year being Hakeem. That's like, I think that's where they were going with this name change of a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. I do like that Michael Jordan was the MVP award. It
This
makes
is-
a lot of sense.
This is my favorite one. Well, this is one of 2 that I actually 100% agree with.
Yeah,
Every other one I think should be changed.
right.
I'm going to skip clutch because we're going to come back to it. But
Rookie of the Year.
no, next is the next is defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Was changed to the Hakeem
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Olajuwon.
Yeah, he's the best defensive player ever.
Most defensive player of the year awards have went to
Yeah,
Ben Wallace
Ben Wallace.
and Dikembe Mutombo with 4.
Yeah, and
Not
I think
Hakeem.
Hakeem had 3. Right.
It doesn't say off the just like right here.
But you've
off
got
the-
like Draymond Green and
I would have liked to
Kawhi
see-
Leonard, who are the 2 modern players that have had the most. And it seems
Hakeem
like
is great on defense, but he was more of that all around player. That was his thing.
But he was known like
He
if you're
was.
able to stop Shaquille O'Neal, that's why. Like your
But
defensive numbers were fucking
I would have
phenomenal.
loved to see it go to either Ben or Dikembe here.
Maybe Dikembe, just because it's
Dikem-
more iconic. The no sort of thing.
Yeah,
Maybe
Dikembe
put him
Mutombo's.
in the-
Yeah, like that would have been so cool to see the Dikembe Mutombo award.
So you did disagree with the naming.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not who I would have picked. I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
Is how I feel about this one.
Yeah. Okay.
Next, we have the Rookie of the Year, Will
It's
Chamberlain.
Will Chamberlain.
I 100% agree with this one.
Dude, he's one of the greatest players ever.
If you look up best ever NBA rookie years, number 1, Will Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Very clearly.
He averaged like 30. Wasn't it 30 or something?
He averaged over 30 points, and I think over like 15 to 20 rebounds.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
It's
man.
insane.
He's
Like-
he needs some sort of iconography. He needs to be revered the same way that we talk about, like, obviously, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We need to
Yeah.
talk about him the same way we talked about Michael Jordan. Well, not as the greatest player of all time, but like he had that impact, dude.
Yeah.
He was a freak of nature,
Yeah.
and he deserves every bit of this award.
I put him in my top 5 players ever. And on top of that, I think that I just wish I could have seen him like
Yeah, I mean,
do the things that he did because
I wish I could have watched Michael Jordan. That's a shitty thing, man. Like,
yeah, but it's
we
different.
were fucking not. I mean, you weren't even born until
Yeah.
like the tail end of his run,
Yeah,
and I was 2. So
yeah.
I don't know, man.
The next one that we have is the most improved, and that is George Mikan.
George Mikan.
I don't know how you name someone the most improved. Like, I don't know who you would give this to. Like, do you give it to who you believe is the most improved player
I would say
ever?
Giannis is really the most deserving of this. Because think about his early career
Yeah.
and what he became. Like, he came in as like a 200-pound soaking wet 6'8" or like 6.
I actually don't hate
he's like
that.
6'10". But you don't want to give this to modern players. I understand what they were trying to do.
I don't really like George Mikan, so that's kind of my complaint with this more than anything. But, like, this is an award that I don't know who you would name it after.
I mean, my choice would be Giannis, just because, like, given the circumstances of how he came into the NFL or the NBA, that's a lot more. It's a lot more symbolic to me the way he was able to completely change his career.
Yeah, I don't
because he wasn't even. I think he was like a 2nd-round pick. Like, he wasn't considered like a candidate for one of the greatest players ever.
Yeah,
I think Giannis is going to end up being a top 5 player of all time just based off his numbers. But yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily have an issue with George Mikan being it. I never watched him play, so I don't know. I don't know.
To further your extent, Giannis is the first player to ever win Most Improved and then later win MVP.
Yeah,
he's the only player to do that.
Yeah, he's so fucking good, man.
Yeah, so I mean, I actually really like that. I didn't think about that, but that's that's the best pick. Next is one. This is the one I disagree with the most.
Okay.
6th man of the year.
6th man of the year.
It went to John Havlicek.
It should have been Manu.
I don't agree.
Who do you think?
Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford. I'm okay with that. He has more 6th man of the year awards.
Jamal Crawford has won it the most times with 3. Yep. Lou Will has won it the next and also won it with 3.
Yeah.
If you give it to Jamal, Lou Will, or Manu, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Don't understand why it's Havlicek.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Like, when you think, and like, maybe it's because they're too recent is what they were thinking, but like, just do it. Like, this one is, in my opinion, the worst one.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you think of 6th man, you think of Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was so good with the Clippers for so long, too. Like,
yeah. You can think of him in different eras. Like, you can be like, oh, he was the 6th man for this
But if you're
team.
talking about, like, championship impact, then
Manu.
I think Manu deserves it.
Manu was the 3rd best player on the team, and he was coming off the bench.
Yeah.
like he was that 6th man. Like, I don't know. This one seemed really bad to me. I didn't like this one at all.
Yeah.
But then another one that I really don't know how you pick this, but I do have a couple answers, and I wanted to save this for last for a reason.
Okay.
Next is the NBA Clutch Player of the Year. I think this is a cool award to add.
Ray Allen.
Jerry West is the trophy.
West. Okay.
Ray Allen's a great one because I was talking to a friend of ours about all the trophies and everything, and he said when he thinks of a clutch moment, he thinks of Ray Allen's 3.
Yeah.
That is the clutch moment.
The most clutch. I mean, see, some of these guys, like, because I mean, we didn't see these guys, in this, like, the guys they're talking about, like Jerry West, we didn't really watch him, obviously.
Yeah. When I think of a clutch
we
player,
have so many examples of clutch players for this era. Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard is the guy who I would give this award to.
Ray Allen.
Allen's
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
Even Kevin Durant.
You know who I 100% would have given this award to? If you are 100% not going to change the logo, I would give this to Kobe.
Yeah.
This is
my God, Kobe Bryant.
This is the Kobe Bryant trophy.
He's got the fucking All-Star MVP. I think that's why they didn't really give him anything else. That's such a dumb fucking reason, though.
So I'm now on the notion of we should change the logo. If we're going to change everything else, go all in.
Kobe Bryant needs to be the logo.
Kobe is the logo.
He's such an iconic basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe his slam dunk with his legs up, kind of like doing the Michael Jordan thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. Just make it.
Kobe Bryant needs more of a namesake. He deserves it. He's one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah. I think it's cool, and it at least sparked a conversation about awards that I usually don't give a shit about. So that's cool about it.
I think that they should change the name of the championship trophy too. Larry O'Brien, like they should change it to the.
Didn't they? Isn't it the Bill Russell?
No, that's the MVP.
Oh, it's not.
No. It's the Finals MVP, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, change the Larry O'Brien trophy to the Phil Jackson trophy.
I was trying to think. Yeah, Phil Jackson, maybe Pop, maybe, but I would say Phil
If
Jackson.
you want to do the same type of era sort of thing, like the era shift for the late 80s, 90s sort of thing, Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson. I mean, those are the two best coaches ever. So, or coaches ever in the NBA. So yeah.
Yeah, Phil Jackson won. You know, he won fucking how many total? It was like
9, 8.
He won 6 with the Bulls, and then he had Kobe and Shaq for three of them.
Yeah.
So 9.
I mean, come on. Change that.
I don't think there's a whole lot more you can change. My thing about the NBA and why I dislike stuff like this is because they try to throw a fucking like sponsored by. Like look at every arena that was like kind of iconic.
Yeah.
Even across the sports spectrum.
Yeah.
Like the crypto arena, that's fucking cringe. What else?
Do you think other
it used to be Staples? Staples is a brand, but like it's the Staples Center.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah. Do you think that the NFL would do something like this?
I would like to see it. Just don't throw sponsored by IKEA or fucking Little Caesars MVP of the year. Fucking.
And then, like I said, who do you think that we'll just do the same thing? Defensive Player of the Year,
and
LT. It's got to be Lawrence Taylor Award.
So he'd be one of them.
It's got to be.
If we're, I think we should do a modern pick and like
Joey. Would it be Bosa? Maybe. No.
No. The one who has the most is Aaron Donald.
Yes, Aaron Donald.
So like Aaron Donald, and then let's do LT.
Yeah, it'd be I think the award would go to LT though.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do the Defensive Player of the Year for the NFL,
I mean,
it's the Lawrence Taylor Award.
Yeah, but
okay. So then we have Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
This is so hard. I'm gonna look up best NFL Rookie Year.
Modern player Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Oh man.
There's a Bleacher Report says 25 best rookie seasons in the NFL history. Devin Hester is 25. Do I just love that? Yes. Like if you're gonna do a special teams award.
Yeah, Devin Hester.
Devin Hester.
Yeah, because he's the best.
Like I don't care if it goes to the punter every year. I'd give it. It's the Devin Hester Award.
See, that's the thing about the NFL. They don't really have a full expanded trophy list. Like they don't have the accolades like that. You have first team All Pro. They've got Pro Bowls. They've got.
And they still could though.
They've got the league wide awards. They could do like best by position. I think. Kind of like how college football does with like the different.
I don't think position, but maybe like I don't know. That would be kind of crazy. Best rookie years. It says Gale Sayers for the Bears. He was number 1. Night Train Lane is 2.
Okay.
LT is 3. Greg Cook is 4. I'm giving it to Randy Moss. I'm saying
Randy Moss. Yeah.
He's ranked
New Heights. They did the same thing, right?
Yeah.
They went through the NFL and gave out their awards. I think they did Randy Moss.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's who they did.
Offense. They have an Offensive Player of the Year award.
They do.
Who are you giving the Offensive Player of the Year award to?
Man, that's fucking tough. Oh, God. To me, because he didn't win that many MVPs and he's such a fucking iconic player, and he, like, has the most rushing yards ever, I'd go Emmitt Smith.
I'm not going to look any further into this. I found an article from SB Nation.
Okay.
They did this.
Oh, really?
They did the switching the awards to the NFL.
Okay.
So, offensive player. I mean, I'm wide receiver biased though.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say Jerry West, or yeah, Jerry Rice.
Yeah,
I was like, I know that's not right.
What are you talking about?
Jerry Rice.
Oh shit.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Jerry West is
I know.
an NBA player.
Yeah. That's why I was sitting there. I was like, yeah.
Why are we
Jerry
blanking?
Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
The Jerry Rice Award for the offensive player, but I'm super wide receiver bias. It's my favorite position.
I could see that. I mean, he leads the NFL all time in receiving yards. So
Yeah.
but yeah, my pick would be Emmitt Smith. What about
MVP?
MVP? New heights to Tom Brady.
It would be Tom Brady. But I mean, if it's not
If we're
Tom
doing a
Brady,
Super Bowl MVP
it's Joe
award,
Montana.
I would do the Super Bowl MVP as Tom Brady because he has 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm talking about league MVP. I guess you go Montana because they're not going to want to do current players, and he is the best football
It would be
player
a quarterback, obviously, so it'd be like Dan Marino, John Elway, one of those guys. Troy Aikman, maybe. I don't know. I mean, did Troy even
Joe
win
Montana.
one? I don't think Troy even won one, so.
Joe Montana.
Yeah, Joe Montana's a good pick.
Yeah, he's got to be it. Any other awards?
Coach of the Year?
It'd be Madden. Because of what
Madden would
happened.
be such a good one. Oh, he deserves it.
His passing, it would be John Madden.
Yeah.
And I think it's also a good one if he was still alive, but I think with his passing, it should be John Madden.
Yeah. It would either be him or I don't think they go Belichick. See, that's why I mean Lombardi. He's the fucking
Yeah.
he's the Super Bowl trophy.
Yeah. So you want to hear what they said?
What's up?
AP, most valuable player,
Okay.
the Joe Montana trophy.
Okay.
It makes sense.
That's fair.
Coach of the year, John Madden.
Yep.
It just makes...
It does make sense. He deserves it.
Yeah.
It sucks that he passed this year. This year sucks.
He said, the article said, I feel a little weird not naming this after Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, and Bill Walsh.
Yep.
But he said, Vince Lombardi and John Madden. Makes the most sense here.
Yep.
Next, we have Comeback Player of the Year. Oh, they stole my answer. They got Randy Moss.
Oh, no.
He's got to be rookie. Comeback Player of the Year. I'm naming
I'd
it
say
Gino.
AP. Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson's the actual. Maybe. I would rather it be AP, but I could see it being. Quarterback. I can't think of his name for some reason. I don't know.
Who do you play for?
It was on Denver's when he won it. It's Peyton Manning.
Oh, shit.
I was going to say, one of the best ever. Because he had that super good comeback.
I got one that's like on par.
What is it?
Drew Brees. After his injury with the Chargers, and then he went to the Saints, had a fucking Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
Maybe even Mike Vick, even though he was out for legal reasons.
Yeah.
He did go to jail for a couple of years because of the dogfighting shit.
Yeah.
But like,
Offensive Player of the Year? I love their answer.
Who is it?
Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
I really like that.
It was either him. That's the thing. Like him and Emmett, that'd be my two.
Yeah.
So
Defensive Player of the Year? Reggie White?
Okay.
No.
I mean, I like it.
How's it not?
Listen, you're getting me on board if there's an Eagle involved.
Yeah.
So
Get out of here.
Get
Special
outta here.
Teams Player of the Year, the Ray Guy Trophy. If it's
Ray Guy
not
trophy.
Devin Hester or Pat McAfee, I don't want it.
Devin Hester, Pat McAfee, and Vince Harry needs to be in that fucking conversation too.
Or
Or Justin Tucker.
Oh, I forgot. They don't do a Rookie of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year and defensive. So Offensive Rookie of the Year would be Randy Moss.
And
Defensive Rookie of the Year,
Lawrence Taylor.
Sauce Gardner.
Gardner.
They have Gail
Sayers.
and then Night Train Lane, which I think is also a great answer.
They're from a different era though.
Yeah.
Like a whole like
The Iron
they
Man
had the
Award.
fucking like
They toughest one.
the fucking I can't even think of a team.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something. The Sacramento Sillies. Like they were a part of the season. They were part of the NFL at that point.
Iron Man Award, they give it to Jim Brown. Jim Brown deserves to be on this list, so I'm for it.
Yeah, let's create an award.
They should. The NBA did.
They should do fucking like what's it called? The Razzies?
The MVP? Or what is it, LVP, least valuable player or some shit like that?
Russell Wilson.
Trubisky got that award.
We need to do that iteration of our awards when we go to
we'll add it
it.
to our award show.
Yeah. That's fucking funny.
But I do like that.
Alrighty.
Do you have anything else?
No,
before we
let's
move on
wrap
to
this
last
up.
call?
Let's do
Okay.
it.
You want to go first?
I guess I can.
I don't know what you're going with. I don't know if you're going with Anthony Davis, which, by the way, breaking news, he's out for a month.
Because what did he do? Fuck up his ankle?
Foot.
Foot.
He has a foot
Foot
injury.
in-
Didn't know if you were going to talk about that.
I mean, we can touch
Didn't
on
know-
it. I do
Didn't know
have...
if you're going to do the quarterbacks moving around. Like you said, Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Tom Brady. What do you
Well, we know
think?
about 80.
What's your last call?
Let's say something on it real quick. It sucks. He's been playing great. MVP caliber player. Really has helped turn the Lakers around a little bit. But it just sucks that he's out because I feel like the Lakers are going to take a real step back without him. As for the quarterbacks, Tom Brady, he's a free agent. Jimmy Garoppolo's a free agent.
Gino is.
Gino
but
is as well, but I feel like he'll be back in Seattle.
Everyone feels like he's going to be back.
My thing is where do we go from here? Like, where do those guys go? Like, Tom Brady,
We're
does
gonna
he
talk
end up
about Tom Brady
retiring?
and
I
no,
feel like
I don't think so now.
he's
I think-
46.
I think the big thing for Tom Brady was like he wanted to spend time with his family. The fact that he is not like in I don't want to say in the worst way possible, but like
He's
that
not
he lost his
He
family.
doesn't have his obligation right now. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's been taken away to an extent where like he doesn't have to worry about it as much.
So
It sucks for him personally.
yeah, I just didn't. I felt like I was wording it poorly,
But, yeah.
but I think that that's less of the problem now. That now he can just kind of ball out.
It
Somewhat.
just sucks because like he hasn't played well. And I don't
Hasn't-
think that there's any teams he can land on where they're just automatically better with him there. Like San Francisco's been a conversation. I'm like, dude, they've got
the Patriots is where I hear a lot.
Why would he go back there?
I don't know.
Don't do the fucking LeBron
I was
shit.
about to say,
Just
is it a
end your-
LeBron
just
thing?
end on a terrible note.
What if
Because it
that's
could
the
just
thing?
only get worse.
What if that's the thing? He's gonna go. This is how it works. You start somewhere. You leave to Florida. You win some chips in Florida. You leave Florida. You go back home. You get him a chip, and then you go out to LA. So he's gonna be a Ram in like 2 years.
Well, it's Vegas. Oh, you said the Ram. Oh,
Yeah.
Fuck.
He's gonna be a Ram
Ah.
because that's how it works. Apparently, he's following the LeBron.
They do have a
method.
little white guy. Yeah, he'll end up being a fucking Hall of Famer with Tom
If
Brady.
you thought
If you thought Matt Stafford was getting
only
the most,
targets, well,
Brady-
Tom Brady would
Brady's
never
got-
look at anyone else.
he's got those white guys on deck. I mean, he did it with Gronk,
Yeah.
Wes Welker, Amendola, Edelman,
Yeah. He didn't win a chip when he had Randy Moss.
Scotty Miller. I don't know, man. It's just him and his little slot white guys. He just.
Yeah. But
I don't
yeah.
want to see him on the Rams. They don't deserve it.
I think that he'll retire. Or maybe.
He needs a good situation. If there's teams like ready to line up and give him a big contract, sure. I just don't know.
I just don't know a team that he could go to other than maybe the Patriots. But I just don't see that happening.
They need to just stick with Mac and just move forward.
They need to move on from Mac. Stick with Bailey Zappi.
The Eagles are going to get him.
Who?
To back up. Jalen
Oh,
Hurts.
if Gardner Minshew doesn't start as a quarterback for the Jets next year, I'll be pissed.
That would suck ass. He needs a fucking shot, dude.
Jimmy G has an actual potential here. He could probably end up being a Jet. If you're the Jets, do you sign? Like, are you like, hey, Tom Brady, you want to?
I don't think anybody should sign Jimmy G as a consideration for him to be their starter.
Damn,
That's my opinion because
Damn.
I don't think that Jimmy's that great.
I don't either. I mean, I'm a hater.
I don't think he puts any team over
I'm a hater first.
potential playoff run and makes them a Super Bowl team.
No,
He has a clear ceiling. He has a certain skill set, and I don't think he's going to look good beyond Kyle Shanahan's system.
Yeah.
He should just stay in San Francisco at this point.
Yeah.
Is how I see it. But there's really not a whole lot that. I don't know, man. There's not many quarterbacks that are going to be off their team. Maybe I would like to see Carson Wentz out of Washington finally get a fresh start where he's not challenged at all from the backup at all. Because I still think he's far more talented than a lot of the starting quarterbacks. Like, I think he's better than Mike White.
oh come on.
I think he's better than Sam Darnold. I think he's better than Baker. I think
Yeah.
he's better. Like, there's a lot of quarterbacks.
You're naming
I
the
think he's better
bottom.
than Geno. I really do. Just from a total package as a quarterback.
Absolutely not.
Because he wasn't playing bad before he got benched. And he didn't even get benched. He got injured. And then
Hiding
He had to
Kentucky.
sit. So, but that's it. That's all I've got on the quarterbacks.
We've talked about this before. We are both I live in Louisville. You live very close to Louisville. We are in Kentucky.
I am a Louisville hater because, I mean, there's two teams. They're like
Yeah.
in-state rivals: Kentucky, University of Kentucky, and University of Louisville.
As the state, you pick one of them. You
And
root
you
for
stick
one of
with them.
You never switch.
Never switch
I have been a Louisville fan
for your entire life.
my entire fucking
Your
life.
entire fucking life.
And I just wanted to say that I haven't watched a single game of
college football or college basketball?
because Louisville is the most bum ass team
They're
I've ever
terrible.
seen.
They're 2-9.
I am better than the players on this team.
They are 2-9.
I truly believe it.
They lost to Bellarmine.
They lost to Bellarmine, Wright State, App State. They put up 38 points against Texas Tech. I promise you I could put up more than that. Alone.
So bad.
Alone. Their highest score put
Who
up
is their
7
coach?
points.
I don't even know who their coach is right now.
It wouldn't matter. I would score more than 7 points.
Man, Rick Pitino. Remember that guy?
Yeah, we miss them. Apparently.
Y'all missed that fucking championship too. Poof, gone.
Dude,
Asterisk.
it's insane how bad they are.
It fucking sucks. Dude.
I'm going to go to a game and
What's
just
the
bully
what's it? Isn't it Purnell or some shit? I don't.
What?
The fucking the team they play next.
Oh, no, it's
Purnell.
Lipscomb?
Lipscomb.
I never heard of them.
Never heard of them.
You would think that I'm rooting for a D3 team. They're Division 1.
Are they really? Where are they even from?
They beat Western, which means Western should actually sign me, put me on the roster.
I mean, that's clearly one of their best games of the year.
I'll pretend to go to classes and stuff.
Watch them
But,
make
like-
the NIL or NIT or some shit and get fucking rushed.
Yeah.
And then they have no shit to talk. Because they talked a lot of shit after Robert Morris beat
Yeah.
Kentucky in the NIT with Nerlens Noel.
Yeah.
And he was hurt, so, like, congrats.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, dude.
Like, it's so
team
sad to
is
see this team
dog.
get fucking dogged by good teams. And then whenever they play bad teams, they scrape out the win or lose. It's so stupid. They beat Florida A&M.
I'm not against it.
I didn't know there was a Florida A&M, by the way. Have you ever heard of Florida A&M?
I have heard of them, but I didn't know they were a Division I school.
They might not be.
They might not be.
They won 61-55.
Who's their leading scorer? I don't even know any of their players. I don't know any of the Kentucky players. I don't watch college basketball. It's just not.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I don't know.
This game was Sidney Curry and L. Ellis.
No idea.
It's insane. But
Yeah, they.
if you were wondering why we don't cover college basketball, it's because Louisville's bums, and I don't like watching the worst teams ever.
I mean, Kentucky's ranked in the top 25 right now.
They're 13th.
And I have no idea. I have nothing. I couldn't tell you. I just don't watch it. It's not that I don't like the sport. It's just that
Kentucky,
it doesn't matter until you get to March Madness, and then like if your team doesn't even make the tournament, why do you give a shit?
Yeah.
So
I mean, Kentucky beat Bellarmine.
by how much?
I don't know. I'm going to pull it up.
Because that's the thing. They could actually be good, and we're just dogging Louisville for losing to them, and
No, they're not.
they're not.
No, I promise you they're not. It's not pulling up because it hates me. 1 minute. Just give me 1 second. Pulling it up now. They beat Bellarmine 60-41.
So 19.
They beat them by 19. Louisville lost by 1. And that's been another week of totally not biased.
See you next week.